Well, I sure appreciate your presence and your demeanor, and I'm really on the lookout for people that are actually genuine and articulate and have a heart. I'd say I'll consider you a friend. You did the work. You did this. When the right people are calling the shots, and like yourself, you've got these gifts and you've got these stories, and you've got these abilities and these projects. That's why people like Stephen Nizell. It's like he knew all this. And when I was with that particular person, he was laughing at the death of my son. He was laughing in front of me in my home at the death of the son. So it's like,
what? That's a blatant lie. You kidding me?
People that make opinions and that they're saying like egotistical things like this. People that make those opinions, you're doing worse than the cabal. You're doing worse than those that are pedophiles harming children. Whoa. You are worse than any of them with your opinions. You're doing more harm than those that are swinging the swords. I'm not out to put anybody down. No one. I don't want to be drawn into so-and-so and so-and-so, and he's putting down so-and-so. No, I don't have time for that.
What the is going on here?
And so I'm holding this up because I think it's kind of fun. I'm in danger of being ridiculed by a evil snowman.
Oh my God!
I mean, that hat, the hat is nowhere else except on Burl Eyes. Facial fur. That's what I'm dealing with. It's like,
they're part of the Nephilim clown bloodline.
It's incredible. It's like, yeah. I mean, that's a nobody player.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
People like myself.
Asshole.
We're quick to forgive. We're quick to embrace. We'll be like, somebody says, "I'm sorry for it." You got me. Let's celebrate. That's how we are. Instantly forgive. This garbage of false glory has got to stop, and I'm tired of it. Let's stop being turned on each other. And let's stop looking for ways to accuse each other of turning on each other. And let's start lifting each other. And we've got this. Those 14 other screenplays going on 15 that I have is for the new world order, new world that is our people.
Yeah.
So I am presenting my honorary Queen of the World for your courage,
Thank you.
brilliance, beauty, compassion, divine feminine, and never say no.
Thank you, baby.
There you are. Yeah, if I'm a fraud, bring it on. Let's do it. Come on, I'll be easy to debunk if I'm a fraud.
For me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
We are living in a computer-programmed reality, and the only clue we have to it is when some variable is changed and some alteration in our reality occurs. More likely, the matrix world, the one with the true core of being, is determined by the programmer. We would have the overwhelming impression that we were reliving the present, déjà vu. Perhaps in precisely the same way, hearing the same words, saying the same words. I submit that these impressions are valid and significant. And I will even say this, such an impression is a clue that at some past time point, a variable was changed, reprogrammed as it were, and that because of this, an alternative world branched off, became actualized instead of the prior one, and that in fact, in literal fact, we are once more living this particular segment of linear time. A breaching, a tinkering, a change had been made, but not in our present, had been made in our past. Evidently, such an alteration would have a peculiar effect on those persons involved. They would, so to speak, be moved back one square or several squares on the board game which constitutes our reality. It's a common theme in my writing that a dark-haired girl shows up at the door of the protagonist and tells him that his world is delusional, that there's something false about it. Now, in Man in the High Castle, the situation is ironically reversed. The girl that comes to the door tells an author that his book of fiction is true. For several years, I have had the feeling, a growing feeling, that one day a woman who would be a complete stranger to me would contact me and tell me that she had some information to impart to me, and then she would appear at my door just as Juliana appeared at Hawthorne Abinson's door, and that forthwith, in the gravest possible way, she would tell me exactly what Juliana told Abinson, and that is that my book, like his, was in a certain real, literal, and physical sense not fiction but the truth. Well, this did finally happen to me. I even knew that her hair would be black. I had an actual complete sense of what she would look like and what she would say. Door. And I'm speaking of a woman who had systematically read every single novel of mine, which is more than 30 novels, as well as many of my stories. She did appear. She was a total stranger. I, in my stories and novels, often write about counterfeit worlds, semi-real worlds, as well as deranged private worlds, inhabited often by just one person, while meantime the other characters either remain in their own worlds throughout or are somehow drawn into one of the peculiar ones. This theme occurs in the corpus of my 27 years of writing. At no time did I have a theoretical or conscious explanation for my preoccupation with these pluriform pseudo-worlds, but now I think I understand. What I was sensing was the manifold of partially actualized realities lying tangent to what evidently is the most actualized one, the one which the majority of us, by consensus gentium, agree on.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Welcome to the Yissilmissil Productions channel. My name is Steven Yissel, and today, let's talk about it. Man, I missed doing that. How are you all doing out there? How y'all doing out there? Oh yeah, I love that intro. That was from like an hour-long, about like 55-minute long Philip K. Dick interview from 1977. He talks about the Matrix there. So those of you who have been following me this whole time, I asked Tom about that specific interview, and he played dumb. He pretended like he didn't know what it was. I told him about it. He never wanted to inquire further about it. And we have the femme fatale, we have the Matrix, we have the deja vu, all in one clip. How about that? I want to also show you, I have Neuromancer by William Gibson. I got to page 5. And look what it says. It says, a year here and he still dreamed of cyberspace. Hope fading nightly. All the speed he took, all the turns he'd taken, and corners he'd cut in Night City, and still he'd see the Matrix in his sleep. This is from 1984. And then, here's the part you're gonna love, Tom. There is references to Jackson the Neck. A byproduct of youth and proficiency, jacked into a custom cyberspace deck that projected his disembodied consciousness into the consensual hallucination that was the Matrix. 1984. 1984. You want to talk about checkmate? You tell me again that Tom's the one that came up with jacks in the back of the neck. $1984. I've had it with this guy. Absolutely had it. There is no convincing me that he is the writer of the Matrix. No. The Matrix was inspired by Neuromancer by William Gibson. This author has 4 books in this series. This is the first one. And 6 pages in, it hits the Matrix by word, and it hits jacks in the back of the neck by word. Thank you, Chad. I knew you'd be here, Chad. Oh my gosh, this is... I don't know what to tell you guys. Other than I did my homework. 1984, William Gibson. 1977, Philip K. Dick. Oh yeah, Missing Time. You're going to want to watch that intro. Beautiful. I don't know. It's getting better each time we go through this. It's just more honed in now. But today we have 40 minutes left of the Sean Bond interview to get through. Surprisingly enough, we went 3 episodes and did not get through a 3-hour interview with Tom because we had to call out all the bullshit. But we got the last 40 minutes that we're going to cover here today on this show. And I'm just so glad all of you are here. You know, I missed you all. Thank you for being here. I'm in a good mood today. I did so much prep for today to run 2 shows. One, to read 2 scripts at the same time, 20 pages. That's 40 pages we read in 2.5 hours. And I still gave myself a little bit of wiggle room to start today at 2. I thought it was scheduled at 1. So I'm glad it was like all timed out perfectly. I think I figured out what I have to do to run these shows now. But the next 4 shows for Let's Read, that's going to wrap up the entirety of the Matrix and the Immortals scripts. But the next 4 shows here, we're going to be watching more Tom Althouse interviews. And it's going to be pretty interesting to see where this all goes, considering I'm putting out 6 reels a day now, and I am not putting any breaks on it. 6 reels or more a day. Every day, 6 reels, 6 reels, 6 reels, 7 reels, 8 reels. I'm going to post every single day now. The internet's going to be flooded with clips from this show, 20 seconds to 3 minutes. I am going to flood the internet with this show. And that's just the way it's going to be. We're live on Rumble right now. We're live on YouTube. If you're watching on Rumble, sorry that I can't check the chat on Rumble. So if you want to talk to me, come over here on YouTube and get in the chat. I'll see you here in the chat. But it is just unreal the amount of lies that Tom says, the stretching he goes through, the stretching to try to say that his script was used to make the Matrix. It's insulting to all of us, isn't it? I'm sure you feel some sort of way about Tom now. And I don't blame you. Fun fact, by the way, Sean Bond, the host that we're finishing up the rest of the 40 minutes today here with, of a 3-hour interview he did with him. Sean Bond has not done another interview with Tom yet. And that was back in March, April, May, June, July, August. 5 months have gone by, not a single follow-up of Sean Bond with Tom Althouse. You tell me, did Sean take a peek over at what we're doing here? I sure hope so. I told him, run. If you see this message from me, run. Because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. But at the end of the day here, we're all getting educated. We're becoming wiser with how to tread the internet here. And these fraudsters that somehow it brought Brenda and I together, right? With what's her face, the witch that runs the Agent 11 show, and then that's how we all got connected here. I sat in for Tom on one of Brenda's shows because Tom got cold feet hearing about Secret Service agents going and killing people. I can't handle it anymore. And then I had to sit in his place. He's like, you need to take over for me. This is while I was at Tom's house in Texas. And then somehow, after I told Tom that Witch Lady from Agent 11 was his handler, Tom didn't like that. I had a whole meeting set up for Brenda, Susie, and myself to meet with Tom online here to explain to Tom what's happening to him. That these people are pushing his grandiose illusions. If all it took was one person to tell Tom that, oh yeah, the entire industry knows that you wrote what became the Matrix. If that's all it took, imagine what these motherfuckers are putting Tom through right now. I want to say that Tom has a severe mental condition, and these people are encouraging it. We just read 60 pages of The Immortals and The Matrix, and it doesn't match up. You can crisscross, needle thread every little thing what that you want to do. Oh yeah, there's agents in this, there's agents in that. Yeah, agents. Generic trope. I don't know anymore. Other than I need to continue speaking out. And there will be daily reels. Every single day there will be reels from this show. We're only on episode 22 for the reels. That show was 4 hours. We're almost at 40 clips now. I doubled it in the past week. And I'm going to keep going until I run out of material from that show, and then I'm going to start making reels of 23 and 24 and eventually today's show. Today's show will end up being about 100 reels over time. Let's check the comments here real quick. I see it flying here. Love the interaction from you guys. Make sure to hit the like below. If you guys aren't subbed yet, please sub and hit the notification bell so you get the notifications when I'm going live. Although I do make it pretty clear that I do 11 a.m. Central Time Sundays. I have every intention to do this show weekly, pretty much from now to the end of the year, unless there's some freak scheduling issues or conflicts that come up. I will be here every week from here on out to get this finished. The next 4 weeks, absolutely, I will be here. So, come hell or high water, we're finishing this. We're finishing the read through, and we're working through getting all of these interviews dissected. It's going to take a lot of time, but we have to do it because nobody else is. So let's see the comments here. Midwest Mangler says, Tom now bills himself as the writer of The Matrix. Yeah, he's been doing that for pretty much since March. He just straight up says he's the writer of The Matrix. He's not. There are people that used to comment on my show saying, oh, he's not saying that he's the writer of The Matrix. He is now. He is now. I tried to corral him into saying writer of the Immortals, aka the Matrix. Even that sounds weird to me now, because it's not the Matrix. It's not the Matrix. There's no Cypher. Where is he? Tom can go and replace Behringer with Smith, Behringer with Cypher. It doesn't matter, man. Like, it's not there. Beyond the Box says he has been on my streams. Penny. Yeah. So what I was talking about earlier with Brenda and Tom and Penny. Like my mind blacked out Penny's name. How about that? Maybe that shows that I'm moving on. Missing Time says, nice intro. Thank you. It's just going to keep getting better, guys. Because this was all makeshift. I'm running this thing myself. I don't have to say this all the time, but because Tom continues to say so, I need to correct the record. I am not being controlled by any government agent or operative. I'm doing this on my own volition. I don't get emails or phone calls or text messages or instant messages from government operatives telling me to, stick it to Tom. No, I'm not taking orders from anybody. This is my show. This is my channel. I run this ship, and he can believe whatever he wants to believe. He believes he's the writer of The Matrix. He's straight up saying it now. It's part of this mental decline that's happening with him too. And Penny, David Zublik, all these other fuckers, they're all encouraging his illness. And it's not cool. Tom's sister, Tom's daughter, they both need to get in contact with him and help him do something to come back to reality. Midwest Mangler says, Tom never references the characters in the Immortals anymore. No, not at all. A lot of the reels that I've been putting out for episode 22, they've been talking about that very thing, Midwest Mangler. Instead of saying Jim Reese, he only says Neo. Instead of saying Tom Berenger, he only says Agent Smith. He has no Morpheus. He has no Trinity. He tries to say that Warner Brothers took 3 love interests and put them together and wanted to make Trinity. Like, it sounds cool, it sounds good, but it's not true. As far as we know, there's, in the first 60 pages of the Immortals, there's only 1 love interest, and they're dead now. Because 70 years have passed. He got in a car. The main character gets in a car accident and then wakes up in the hospital, and it's 70 years later, and his daughter's at a nursing home with dementia, and she even dies in his arms as he's trying to carry her out of the hospital. He's my daddy. Dies with a smile on her face. Like, what? There's just so many questions. You don't get the timestamp of like, oh, like time has passed. There's nothing in the script that signals that other than Berenger looks the same as he ever was. Like, what the fuck? Jeez, just like put a little more effort into it. There are some typos on it, and I do get when I believe Tom used there is this old PC called the Amiga. It's either he used the Amiga or he used an older Mac PC where he was using zip drives to save his scripts. I have photos of the zip drive. He didn't want to let me go and transfer those drafts out for some reason. Why? I don't know. But he let me, like, he told me I could read the Immortal script while I was at his place for the 2 weeks I was there in 2024. In April of 2024, I was at Tom Althouse's house in Texas, the same house that still 2 years later has no photos up of his 2 dead sons. So what does that say? It's always on his mind, but he doesn't surround himself with the memories that he has of them. And he never talks about those memories either. How about that one time they go to a baseball game? How about a special dinner for a birthday? Nothing. One of the last reels that I put up was him saying, "Oh, my son's died, and Sophia story. I say I'm not emotional. And my son's died, and my son's." He said it 3 times, almost like it is a plot point in his story, not really something that happened to him. Now, I do believe that his sons did pass away tragically, but he wasn't talking to them at the time. He was estranged already from them. They were people that probably saw him mentally declining, trying to go after Warner Brothers for Demolition Man. Because that's the first thing he tried to claim was Demolition Man. He doesn't talk about that anymore. It's in his deposition. The deposition he recorded himself illegally. That he handed he made the claim that the other lawyer swapped the recorder tapes with him and the lawyer. Like, why are both of you recording anyway? And it's Tom's cover story, because we all know Tom went in there with his own little micro cassette audio recorder. He shoved it in his jacket, and then he recorded his own deposition. He gave me the file because he thought it would be good to use in his documentary. The documentary that's not getting made anymore. That's probably happened at least 6 times before me. Just like in The Matrix, Neo, this has been the 6th, and we become exceedingly efficient at it. You know that thing that the architect says in Reloaded? Like, we are just constantly resetting the Matrix. Tom's just resetting his story at the precipice of him actually getting anything done. I try to help him. I try to tell him there's these handlers that are just they're your yes men and yes women. Oh, Tom, yes. You feel good about them, like supporting whatever you're talking about, but none of them are confronting you and saying, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe you should approach this differently, but you're not. You're going to these alien UFO conferences for God knows what the fuck you're doing over there. And you're talking about how you wrote The Matrix. You didn't write The Matrix, dude. You didn't write The Matrix. Your script is months after the fact that the shooting script was copywritten. In fact, your script was copywritten mere weeks before shooting wrapped up on The Matrix. Beyond the Box says he backed out. He is a sissy. Yeah, so Beyond the Box is talking about the intervention type of thing we were going to do with Tom. Getting him on a private live stream so that we could do a video conference and talk to him about what we believe is going on around his inner circle of Penny, and now later on, like after the fact, Michael Jaco, which we will be covering a Michael Jaco interview in the next few episodes here. I think we'll get through the Sean Bond interview today, and we'll save the Michael Jaco interview for next week to cover, because I just don't want to have this go like 4 hours. But we're doing pretty good right now. We are at the 30-minute mark, and I'm going to finish catching up on the chat here. Midwest Mangler says, Tom is going full speed ahead with his, quote, project, and is backed by his handlers encouraging Tom to continue on. I totally agree with you, Midwest. And Midwest Mangler also says, I still have to catch the read-through for episode 3. Came on here to catch the live. Awesome, Midwest. Yeah, the read-through from today, episode 3 of the read-through, it went about 2.5 hours. So I was anticipating 3 hours, and I'm glad I did it the way I did, because I don't like doing overruns. If I say it's a 2-hour show and it goes 3 hours, it's just my ideal time frame for it is 2 hours. But it seems like to get through 20 pages of both scripts, so 40 pages, takes me about 2.5 hours, which it is what it is. And we're going to have 4 more episodes of the Let's Read, and that's going to be it for that show. But we'll continue with the Let's Talk About It, because this is such an encapsulating show for me, because we're continuing to reference things that have already happened, and we're able to apply it to today and the things that are happening today, with Tom going on these new shows and saying the same thing, but also reinforcing his delusions that he wrote The Matrix. He did not write The Matrix. He even says in his deposition that he saw The Matrix in the movie theaters and had to walk out because he thought it was too violent and gory. So he even admitted in the deposition that he did not see any this is quote, no substantial connections to his script, The Immortals. It was only after who knows who went and told him that his script was stolen and turned into The Matrix. Whoever told him that, he started running with it forever up until this day. I want to say it's been at least 15 to 20 years that he's been doing this bullshit. And if it was his first wife that did it, like, fuck you. And then his second wife, Becca, if you also fed into the delusions, fuck you too. Because you shouldn't be doing this to someone who has a mental condition and then Tom went on Roseanne. And before that, I helped him get on John B. Wells' Caravan to Midnight for 2 shows. He's out there in the public saying these crazy fucking things, and nobody's by his side in his inner circle telling him, dude, you need to pivot. You need to do something different. And he's not doing it. He's definitely not going to listen to me, but of course we know he's watching these shows. Hi, Tom. I hope you're learning something here. Like, you must understand here that at some human level here, I feel some sympathy for Tom's mental condition, because he can operate day to day. I was in his house for 2 weeks straight. He had a guest room for me that he almost let Penny move into. She would have never left. She would have died in that house. She would have lived to the ripe old age of 146, like any old other witch would. She'd take over the house and kick Tom out for all we know. Thankfully, Tom's mother, who's still with us, like she's still living, thankfully Tom's mother talked some sense into him and told him not to let Penny live with him. Probably one of the best advices that Tom has ever gotten. And it's from his own mother. So I'm going to say right now, thank you, Mrs. Althouse, for convincing your son to not let Penny move in with him. Because if you could go by what she left Susie's property like, it would have been a pigsty. There would have been rats everywhere, cockroaches. And in a new subdivision of all places, imagine that spreading along the whole block in the neighborhood. You just have this rat and cockroach infestation. Jeez. Spoiled food in the fridge. There were black eggs in Penny's fridge. Black eggs. Frankie D. Frankie D is in the house. Good to see you. Yes, yes, yes. And Frankie D says, fuck all them delusional assholes. I agree with you. Midwest also says Tom's original court case was thrown in 2014. 2014 and TOL. Frankie says Tom should just go play in heavy traffic wearing a blindfold. Well, that's not nice. Don't say that. Midwest Mangler says Tom was up to this grift years before the court case in 2014. Yes, I agree. I think it was like 2009. That seems to be the date. And we're still trying to figure out exactly what happened here, because there's Tom's version of the truth and then there's the truth. And trying to get to the truth from Tom's version of the truth is so messy. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to make it all make sense. I want to do the best I can. I'm only one person. I have the human condition just like the rest of you, where I disappear for a few months. I'm back. Tom might have thought I gave up, but I'm back. I needed time to readjust and get things, get the direction of what I'm doing here in order. And now I know what I need to do. So the next 4 weeks we'll be doing this here. I can't wait to see you all here every Sunday. You don't have to be here every Sunday, but that's what makes it awesome when you guys are here talking with me. So I really appreciate it. But I don't know. I think we should just get started with the Sean Bond interview, yeah? I think I got a lot of this off my chest. There, man. Oh. It's sad that there's people out there encouraging Tom's delusion. Because they think that, like, this is going to turn... What do they really think is going to happen with this? Do they think they're going to see some big news headline saying rights to the Matrix returned to original author Tom Althouse? That's never going to be a headline. Ever. Because he didn't write the Matrix. We're 60 pages into reviewing the scripts. They don't match. They should have a lot more connective tissue than they do. If you really want to find connective tissue, pick this book up from 1984. And this is in a series. I got this, this is a United Kingdom printing of Neuromancer. This is from 1984. This book is heavily referred to by the Wachowskis as one of their major influences for The Matrix. This author is still alive. He has a contact agent to hook up interviews. I want to interview this author. But this guy, William Gibson, has even said in review of people saying that The Matrix was inspired by Neuromancer, even William Gibson has said, no, it actually feels to me like The Matrix was inspired more from Philip K. Dick than myself. That's what this guy says. And there's The Matrix referenced in page 5 and page 6 right off the bat. So, like, what do you have to say for that, Tom? Jack's in the back of the neck to jack into the Matrix. Right here. Page 6. I would really like to know what happened with Tom and the meetings that he had in Hollywood if he was abused when he was with Pat Robertson, like sexually abused, I wish he would just talk about it. Because he's not. Why is he not talking about it? It would explain so much about how he is today. But we might never get it. But I can still hope that Tom does see the errors in his ways and actually tries to make his own move. Like, he should be making The Immortals as a film. But he shouldn't be casting lookalikes to Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss and Hugo Weaving. He needs to make his movie as his own. Because it's its own thing. And if he has 15 other screenplays, what the fuck is he waiting for? If he thinks that's keeping his son Aiden alive by not releasing his other work, like, you're not living, Tom. Just take one, make a new script and release it and film it. Do something with it. Frankie says, that's the nicest thing I can honestly say about him. Yeah, you know, I was... yeah, tell him to go play in traffic. It's, yeah, I officially don't want to endorse that, but I totally understand the sentiment. For the lies that he said about myself, think about this. Let's take a poll from the chat real quick. Do you honestly think I would have been laughing in his face when he brings up his two dead sons? That's something he created up here. He invented that scenario and is using that as justification to do what he's doing now with lying about what I am contributing and what my intentions were. He told me I would be allowed to direct The Immortals. I was getting ready to we talked to John B. Wells. John B. Wells is like, you know, I'll try my best to help you get fundraising so you could publish your book. And this was the book after I got to work with him in Texas on the actual documentary. He didn't want to film anything. He didn't even want to do a live here where we're on the same camera doing an interview, part of my series when I was still doing them with him. He didn't want to do it. And it's funny, he references Man in the High Castle as if it's some thing that Warner Brothers created and slapped onto Netflix, completely ignoring the fact that Philip K. Dick is the author of this. The same author that said in the clip in the intro here that oh, God. The same guy that talks about the Matrix and talks about deja vu and a lady with black hair telling the main protagonist that his world isn't real. And that's a common theme for Philip K. Dick. For Tom to just completely cut out and negate Philip K. Dick from the conversation is absolutely insulting to the memory of Philip K. Dick. I don't care that Steven Spielberg got Minority Report and made it. Tom can't be going and latching on to all these little intricacies from all... It's like trying to say every Easter egg in every major movie over the past 20 years has been a slight against Tom Althouse. He's not that important. He wants to believe he is. Like, dude, like, he's not going to get $1 billion to give to his son Aiden. I'm sorry, man. Like, that's not happening. He can't even sit down through his entire deposition for his court case. He walks out. He threw the case himself. He threw the case himself, and he said that everybody else did it. Oh, everyone's out to get me. No. You're like, that's enough. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And then the court transcriber being like, shut the fuck up. I can't listen to both of you talk at the same time. essentially. But like, it's just something. If we bring this all back around to the very first interview I did with Tom, all of this, the story itself of all, like, the story that he created about how he thinks he's the original writer of the Matrix versus the reality of what's actually occurring right now, that story in itself is something that could be made into a movie. But like, I'm not going to do it. maybe in 20 or 30 years. Maybe. Let's see here. I'm going to catch the chat up real quick. Midwest Mangler says Pat Robertson is just one part of the quote story. Yeah. It's the starting point, though, apparently. I mean, he technically he was saying 1988 was the time frame when all of this shit started. So whatever happened in 88, he was, what, 19 years old? 18, 19? Or no. No, he was born in 59. So 28, 29 years old is when he went to Pat Robinson. Pat Robinson. I don't give a fuck anymore. The guy actually passed away while I was doing the interviews with Tom in terms of like timeline. And I think we talked about it briefly. But like, he didn't even have a reaction to the passing of Pat Robertson. It's kind of weird. It's like the same monotone, just like, oh yeah. Well, anyways, about my second wife, Becca, and hello, my baby, hello, my honey, hello, my ragtime gal. It's like just the same shit going on over and over and over and over and over again. I get what these other hosts were saying that ended up like dropping them, saying that he just repeats himself over and over. It's like a vinyl record that's skipping, and no new input can push the needle to get the record to play the rest of the album. Tom is stuck in a vinyl groove, and there's almost no way to get him out of it. And I'm not gonna play the role of Morpheus and pull him out of there. He already said I did that for him. Is he like the lamb that gets stuck in the divot in Ireland? They got stuck in the stream bed, and the farmer pulls the sheep out of there to free him, and the sheep runs around and jumps right back into the divot and gets itself stuck again. That's what Tom did here. I saved him, and then he went and unsaved himself again, and he's back to doing the shit he's always been doing. Frankie D says maybe he really enjoyed it. Frankie's talking about the time with Pat Robertson and one of the workers that possibly sexually molested him. Maybe he did enjoy it. We may never know. Missing Time says maybe Tom made the advance on Pat and got rejected. Just a possibility. That's possible too. Midwest Mangler says Tom is trying to make his script like his actual life. He's reaching more and more. Tom's mental illness has gone unchecked for far too long, and it's showing here. Yes, it's definitely showing now. And Beyond the Box says, Steve, I'm listening. I'm on the phone with Susie. That's great to hear. Yeah, tell Susie I say hi too. Missing Time says hi, Susie. Frankie says nobody is out to get Tom. He's an insignificant little pissant. You sum it up better than I ever can. In terms of Hollywood, he is very insignificant. And this is not me trying to belittle others. It's in like the objective grand scheme of things. Tom's not even a speck on the rest of the Hollywood elite's radar. They're like, oh yeah, that's Tom. He's gonna do his thing. Just don't pay any attention to him. That's what they're doing to him. There's been no one reaching out to me saying like, you must stop interviewing Tom. That never happened the whole 6 or however many episodes I did with him. It wasn't 6. I was gonna say 6 months, 6 years. I'm seeing the counter here. That's why I'm getting all mixed up. Beyond the Box says, she said hi, Jason. Zen Race says, hey, Susie. Yeah, this is a nice little get together here with all you. I really appreciate it. We need to get into the Sean Bond interview, though. I want to make sure that we cover the rest of that today. And, yeah, we just need to get started. So, just give me a moment here. I will get the screen all situated, and we will start with reviewing the rest of that. And I do have it at the timestamp of 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 43 seconds for the interview that we'll be finishing here today. And keep in mind, this is from back in March. And Sean Bond has not done another interview with this guy. So maybe he got the memo. Okay. So we're going to do the same as before. Going to set me up a little bigger there. There we go. This formatting of the way that we review these shows, it works excellently for Reels. And like I said, we're doing double the amount of what YouTube would really like send notifications out for. Otherwise, I would have uploaded another 6 this morning if it didn't interfere with having notifications sent out for these 2 lives today. So I did 1 reel a little after midnight, and then I just waited until today's 2 lives. Missing Time says his girlfriend did an interview with him after, though. Oh. Could you tell me more about that? Yeah, there was that other girl that we were watching on a different show that she just disappeared. We don't know what happened to her. And the craziest thing about all of this is that nobody else that has hosted Tom, that has stopped interviewing him, has come here out like on the internet publicly and stated what happened. He could be running his mouth talking bad about all these people and they don't even know it because they've just moved on. It's just crazy. All right, I think audio levels are good. Let me know in the chat if you're going to have any trouble hearing this interview with the overlay of the music that I'm playing here. If it's too loud, let me know and I'll turn it down for the music.
Now, to conclude on that question, I would love to hear about your awakening process. And did you experience similar things in which it feels like you're in a fight, things want to keep...
By the way, I'll let this play at 1x speed for now. But at some point before the end of this, we are going to bump it to 1.5 so we can get through this. Time is of the essence here. Otherwise, we'll be here for 5-10 hours. I can't believe I did a 12-hour stream that one day with Brenda and Chad. That was wild. I don't even know what to make. Like, there's thousands of clips I could probably make from that show. But I don't know when I'd ever get around to making clips out of it. Eventually, down the road, I will. Once I exhaust everything here. Tom has no idea what's ahead. And he's going to have to make a decision. Because, like, the walls are closing in on him now. I got him. He consistently cites 1988 as his start point. Well, 1984 is William Gibson's Neuromancer, and 1977 is Philip K. Dick talking about the Matrix and the jacking into the Matrix. Not with something on the back of the head, but he talks about parallel realities, which that 55-minute interview with Philip K. Dick is worth checking out if you have the time to do so. But I think I got the essence of it out of it, what we needed that's relevant to this topic here.
You and others asleep, wants to drain off them, wants them in low consciousness, giving their tacit consent to a continued algorithm and plan and global narrative for humanity as mindless worker drone slaves. And also, have you had any like spiritual interactions? There's a lot of theories that go into, and currently with me as well, based on these demon hierarchies that influence the mind. As old psychology would use demons as the reasons for like negative emotion in the quality of like why we're influenced and like kind of corralled a little bit. And these things in the astral archons are talked about.
Is it just me, or is Tom's back room really dark right now? Was it like that before? Oh, he moved the camera. It's like after they started talking about demons. Look at that.
A series of events that will be not beneficial to you or your family or loved ones.
I want to
question. Feels like you're in a fight.
Okay.
Things want to keep you and others asleep. Wants to drain off them. Wants them in low consciousness, giving their tacit consent to a continued algorithm and plan and global narrative for humanity as mindless worker drone slaves. And also, have you had any like spiritual interactions? There's a lot of theories that go into, and currently with me as well, based on these demon hierarchies that influence the mind. As old psychology would use the demons as the reasons for like negative emotion and the quality of like why we're influenced and like kind of corralled a little bit. And these things in the astral archons are talked about, like as the Greek for ruler in like maybe there was a catastrophe in old civilizations, and there's a battle between the light and dark for Earth, and after the last big cataclysm, a lot of the
okay, I want to just zoom in here for Tom. Look at his face. Why is he so pale here? See that? I don't know. Something weird's going on. I do want to say there's some demonic influence, especially with Penny. But, like, he has something going on that's not guiding him in the right direction.
dark invaded and it being the royal family's lineages that go today, and the light forces are reincarnating to awaken the sleep people in the Matrix to take back the planet. What is your beliefs on these things?
Oh, absolutely. That's the whole idea of the remnant. That was like, I felt a strong calling to, like I said, make it a beacon to call a remnant. But the qualifications for the remnant were they were scattered people who would understand the call, that green script, blue thing. And keep in mind, Warner Bros. Actually put in green scrolling blips, occasionally blue.
What the fuck? He's not gonna reference the demons that Sean just talked about. Watch this, how he pivots. Just watch.
Awaken the sleep people in the Matrix to take back the planet.
Yeah, Midwest Mangler says Tom is going to have no clue how to respond to Sean.
What is your beliefs on these things?
Oh, absolutely. That's the whole idea of the remnant. That was like, I felt a strong calling to, like I said, make it a beacon to call a remnant. But the qualifications for the remnant were they were scattered people who would understand the call.
Sean asks, what's your opinion on demons? And Tom's like, yes, that's exactly what I was talking about with the remnants and the qualifications that the program had to have to get people that are broken and weak. That's not the question that was asked, you motherfucker.
That green script, blue thing. And keep in mind, Warner Bros. Actually put in green scrolling blips, occasionally blue. They did exactly what I said in the Matrix. It's in there, which makes no sense for them to put it in there because they don't have any illustrations of it. It doesn't make sense when they're playing.
Oh man, Tom sounds really defeated here. Is he? Let me ask this. Is he knowingly doing this, or is this part of his condition? Because if he is knowingly dodging these questions, that makes this that much worse for him. Because you see, he could go and rattle on a tangent like it's nothing, but it has zero to do with what was asked.
In the green scrolling blips, but the idea.
What's your opinion on demons, Tom? Well, you know, the exact thing I was saying in the script with the green blips and the blue, and it's there in the Matrix and Warner Brothers. Dude, that's not what was asked. That's not what was asked. And these hosts should be reinforcing the question. No. Tom, you need to answer my question. I'm asking you this, X. What's your response? Well, about the lawyer and the honeypot wife. No! Answer the damn question.
The idea was to call those that had a heart, cross disciplines, that could form a think tank council, basically, to get our world righted in moments with medicine, tech, propulsion, humanities, all that stuff, coming together to solve world problems. That's a gift from the gods, basically, to have that happen. So
the gods, you mean the demons that Sean was talking about? That you categorize as gods? There's only one God. Heavenly Father Creator. And His Son, Jesus Christ.
it's like Mount Vesuvius in reverse, where it comes back together. So that's what I believed was the calling to make that happen. And yes, I've had experiences where
And that was, do you hear this guy? He is not addressing Sean's question at all. Midwest Mangler says, Pivot Tom strikes once again.
gone into I'm like my sons were. We would not shy from challenges. Like I can see you're the same way. Probably it's like not, if there's a challenge, I go
Challenge Tom to answer the question you asked.
towards it. Is there danger? I go to address it. I don't have fear. That's why the agents in the program with
Tom doesn't have fear. It's so hard to believe this guy now.
say no fear. no fear. That's their phrase. Because if they showed fear, as I said, they're terminated from the room monitors. So their catchword was no fear. And Neo's best friend was a former agent, like I said, who's reinstated to face him off the Cortex building by the architect. Instead of taking him out, he allows him in unopposed. That's how he gets unopposed to the room monitors. Now, the idea was I showed up at a place where I was told it was very dark, very evil. I went inside, went up the room alone, and I thought, no problem. I'm like, no, being very, very cocky at that point. The ego was functioning at that point before I was, approached and writing.
I'm going to say this right now, and this is based off of my time on spiritual and DDN encounters with Abe Cius. Tom here is harboring demons because he cannot address the question. And he tries to say he has zero fear, no fear. Are you kidding me? You kidding me? This world operates on fear. The better way of saying it, the way Tom should have really said it, is that he doesn't let fear affect him. But for him to just straight up say he has no fear, huh? Then why don't you call me? Why don't you talk this shit out, Tom? It's because you fear what I expose in you. So again, you're a liar.
Matrix. And I remember
Matrix. He just can't keep the words out of his mouth, can he?
That's how he gets unopposed to the room monitors. Now, the idea was I showed up at a place where I was told it was very dark, very evil. I went inside, went up the room alone, and I thought, no problem. I'm like, no,
I was told it was very dark and very evil. I went inside. He says it like it was a terrible idea.
Very, very cocky.
Which it is.
At that point, the ego was functioning at that point before I was, approached and writing the Matrix. And
so Tom is claiming here that once the gods gave him the idea to write the Immortals, his ego disappeared. And it's never been seen since.
And I remember being in the room and I felt like I was in slow motion. I couldn't exit the room. It was like I was stuck in resin. And it was the most terrifying.
Yeah, Midwest Mangler says, Sean asked Tom about demons, and Tom references the lowercase gods. Wow, yeah. That's exactly what happened here.
Feeling. And that, I was younger and it was like, it never left me. That there are powers in the universe unseen that we have no idea what they're capable of, or maybe some do have the ability to discern that all, or assess it out, or experience that. But for me, it was an eye opener, a real awakening, and it was part of the idea of like we're in a world that you can't see, And so yeah, but if you take it back, of course, I always would go home to the Purple Crown. So I wanted to make it simple for people in a sense.
Did you hear him? He said Purple Crown. That book he's holding up is called Harold and the Purple Crayon.
And so, yeah. But if you take it back, of course, I always would go home to the Purple Crown. So I wanted to make it simple for people in a sense where you can create.
I hear fear in his voice now. How can he claim he doesn't have any fear when he sounds like he has stage fright? I know my voice cracks every now and then, but do you get the sense that I have stage fright here? Why is Tom, who's gone on all these different shows, why is he still sounding unsure about himself? If he's so sure he wrote The Matrix, right? Harold and the Purple Crown. I mean, he doesn't even correct himself. It says crayon right on the fucking book.
Your reality, if you have the instrument to do so and understand and be free from anything that holds you back. And that's why I love that little character. God bless Crockett Johnson.
Nice. Yeah, that you can take back it and become your own Neo.
Yeah, make it simple again. If you make.
Did he sit at like some think tank with a bunch of bunch of pink-haired people where they have all these reinforcing platitudes and sayings. Nothing will stand in my way. I'm gonna be the one who does it all. Like, come on, man. Midwest Mangler says this must be Tom version 2.0. The grift will be with you always. Yeah, right. Holy shit. The grift is all around you. You can't feel it or see it or sense it, but it's there. Always waiting for another dollar. Go to my website, TomAlthouse.com, and get all the merch you can fucking think of, all the license plates, and like, come on, man. Kidding me?
Simple again, you can free yourself from the cage. It's almost like by making it simple again, even back to childhood things, you can slip between the bars. You can become between the bars. If you overthink it, you won't escape the matrix.
I gotta listen to that again.
By making it simple again, even back to childhood things, you can slip between the bars. You can become between the bars. If you
can become between the bars. Quote Tom Althouse.
Overthink it, you won't escape the matrix.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing with astral construction and astral combat and all that is.
It's more like it's the farce and the grift. And the grift operates out of fear and anger. And the farce, I guess but they're both blue pills, Tom. You overdosed on the blue pills.
The opponent evil usually steals things as a predator, and it has a limited range of things it can do, but it will usually do the same things over and over again, such as bombard a person with fear. So they shut down their DNA, their thought, their ability to outcreate. And
I just want to say here that Tom treats these interviews like they're throwaways. I don't think he's ever anticipated people picking this apart like I'm doing now. He just thinks, oh, no, that was whatever. He says it about me. He's nobody. Steve's a nobody. Don't pay attention to him. You think Sean didn't go on my channel after this and be like, let's see what Steve is actually saying? It's like, don't look here, but I wrote the mate. Don't look here, but I wrote the mate. No, don't listen to that guy. Oh, that's kind of weird. What's this guy up to? It's what is it? The Streisand effect? You tell people to not go do something and they go do it. So he's his own worst enemy, isn't he? Frankie says the grift runs strong in that family. The grift. The power of the grift.
You have the ability to see a problem and then come up with a solution very quickly, and then outcreate it. And that's the concept, to outperform anything in the astral that comes in, interacts and fucks with you, such as banishing, capture, clearing, purification, love, goodness, overwhelm, come to Jesus ability, reaching into their heart, or making the environment shine out light and become the daydream you prefer, and phase out and shrink down the nightmare.
Right. You used to make me think of it, Sean, that, when I was at the Religious Right organization, Pat Robertson's organization, that's where the catalyst and the actual interrogation scene happened in real life. And they were telling me certain things about their plans for that one world theocracy and stuff. At the same time, the FBI were part of that. They gave me a card that actually said,
oh my God.
Goodness, overwhelm, come to Jesus ability.
I rewound because, it doesn't matter what these hosts say. It's like he has a pre-programmed response no matter what the question is.
Reaching into their heart, or making the environment shine out light and become the daydream you prefer, and phase out and shrink down the nightmare.
Right.
I'm going to say this right now. I grew up watching The Matrix. It's a big part of my life. And for this guy to say that he's really the author of it, and then we're seeing what his script actually reads like, it's insulting that he's going around taking credit for these people that I don't even give a fuck about anymore. The Wachowskis are from Chicago, but something happened to them. I don't know what happened to them, but it's insulting to everyone's intelligence that Tom is going around here saying that he wrote The Matrix, one of the most beloved films of the past 25 years. And he has to try to take everyone else's credit? There's no substance to it, man. Like, I'm offended. I'm offended because I took so much time. I spent so much time watching these movies and then listening to this fucker tell me that he's the one that actually came up with it. No, he's not. Midwest Mangler says, now Tom said the FBI reached out to him. No. It's probably someone pretending they are.
You know,
it's probably Sophia Stewart.
Right.
Such as banishing, capture, clearing, purification, love, goodness, overwhelm, come to Jesus, ability, reaching into their heart, or making the environment shine out light and become the daydream you prefer, and phase out and shrink down to the nightmare.
Right. You know, you used to make me think of it, Sean, that, you know, when I was at the religious right organization, Pat Robertson's organization, that's where the catalyst and the actual interrogation scene happened in real life. And they were telling me certain things about their plans for that one world theocracy and stuff. At the same time, the FBI were part of that. They gave me a card that actually said, please extend every courtesy to Tom Althouse. When I was being groomed to be the face of the Christian Coalition, to lead people to be misled as a face.
Missing Time asked, did the Matrix movie help inspire you to do film? Yes, it did. One of my first short films was called Freeloaders. And it was just about some lazy kids that were having Matrix dream fantasy sequences. It didn't really pan out the way I wanted it to, but like, you know, we were having fun. We were doing like the bullet time thing. Running around, me in a suit with a cap gun. Having like scenes in the basement, like Seraph sitting down and talking like, oh yeah. Yeah, we were just like recreating the Matrix scenes with that. I might have it on a DVD, but it might be lost. I'll be honest with that. But that was one of my first short films that I made. That I didn't like put out everywhere. Like, this was something I personally kept. I showed to a few people. But Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions, I was on the lastfreecity.net or .org or whatever it was. That was the unofficial message board for the Matrix franchise. And I was up in there. There were people giving all their theories about what they think the sequels would be like. When Revolutions released all of their official stills for the promotion of the movie, I printed out every single still, cut it out, and put them all on my back of my bedroom door in the order that I thought the movie sequence went in. And it wasn't 100%. I might have gotten at most 60% of it right. But that's something I did. And I don't know if I even still have the, like, I know I took a photo of my bedroom door with all that on it, but like, it might have gotten lost in one of the many hard drive wipes that happened. Because I've had several computers that I lost some information on. So it's So to get back to Missing Time, asking if The Matrix helped inspire me to do film. Yes, it was a heavy influence on my filmmaking career. And like I have a horror feature film that I wanted to make 10 years ago. But I needed funding for it. I need funding to get the crew paid, the cast paid, locations locked down, props. There were 2 vehicles I wanted to use, like specific vehicles. I have pyrotechnics involved with some of these scenes. Like, I have work I want to make, like, for the film culture. I have stuff that just needs funding. That's it. But the funding's like $200,000 just to make sure everybody's taken care of. Like $100 a day for each crew member and cast member. It's not much, but when you factor in everything else involved, it's like majority of the budget goes toward the rental of the film equipment. And yes, digital makes everything easier, but at the same time, if you're shooting on a 4K, 6K, 8K camera, that's going to take up a lot of hard drive space. We're talking probably 20 to 40 terabytes for a feature film. So it's expensive. It's expensive to make feature films no matter which way you slice it. If you want it to look good, if you want the quality of the production to be there, you need to spend some money on it. You need to keep everyone happy. You don't want people dropping out of the production halfway through. I've had that happen on other projects, on my college projects. I had the line producer that never showed up, made up a story that his brother died in a car crash in Texas so that he wouldn't be able to show up. Found out it was a lie. I told his teacher about it. Hey, this guy never showed up. He lied that his brother died. They never punished him for it. But that's the type of stuff you have to deal with when you're a filmmaker. People are gonna, drop out. But the production carries on. That's why I'm saying about Tom, imagine having Tom on the set of The Immortals. He would shut this shit down if he sees, a hair on his pant leg and it reminds him of something that happened with his wife 20 years ago. He would sabotage his own film production. That's why I say that, The Immortals is probably never going to get made. Missing Time says, or Frankie says, lies, all lies. Yeah, about whatever Tom's saying here. Missing Time says movies are expensive to make, and you are right. They are very expensive. That's why you hear $5 million budget, $10 million budget. Where does all that money go? There's a lot that goes into funding this stuff. Midwest Mangler says, I'm a Star Wars and Terminator guy, so I thought I would like the Matrix movie more, but it just wasn't my bag, baby. But I despise Keanu Reeves, though, so that might have something to do with it. Yeah, I understand it, too. The thing with the Matrix franchise is it's really open to the audience's interpretation, especially the last 2 films. There's a lot of flack that gets thrown on the sequels, Reloaded and Revolutions, and those are the films. To me, the Matrix franchise is those first 3, and then the Animatrix, which has anime artists from all over the world that contributed to it, that also worked on other projects. You can notice their art styles in the Animatrix. There's very specific art styles. People that have been in the business their entire life. And Tom tries to say that these people were somehow swindled into doing hit pieces on Tom. It makes no fucking sense. And I unfortunately humored that with him for a while. And it almost seems like it was more detrimental for him. I love the Terminator, by the way. Terminator and Terminator 2. And there's some good elements to Terminator 3. I have not seen anything past that. Or I saw that prequel with Christian Bale. That was pretty good too. But I haven't seen anything past that. So, like the chick from Game of Thrones, which again, that Game of Thrones is a series I only watched the first episode of. I couldn't watch anymore after that first one. I gave it a shot. But that actress that's in the Terminator franchise too, the newer ones, from that movie on, so like 5 and up, I don't even know how many there are. Or there's 6 or 7 movies now. I haven't watched any of the new ones. But it's the same thing with the Matrix franchise. I have no desire to watch the 4th one. I don't even know, what is it called? Resurrections? I've detached myself so far away from the current Hollywood era. It's just like, I was so upset. I'll have to show here on a Let's Talk. I'm going to make a point of this. I have my rant that I made like 15, 20 minutes after I found out that The Matrix 4 was greenlit. I'm just going to write down rant video. It's like a half-hour video of me just crashing out about why the Wachowskis even want to do a 4th movie. And this was in like 2019. So this was before they even began production. This was just when they announced that the 4th movie was going to be made and that Morpheus wasn't coming back. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? If you can't get Lawrence Fishburne, if you can't get Hugo Weaving, you can't have a 4th movie. And they did the unthinkable, which is resurrect both Neo and Trinity. It makes no fucking sense to me. So I have no desire to watch it. The franchise ends at 3. It ends at Revolutions for me. And maybe at some point I'll watch the 4th, especially now after Tom revealed himself to be a total grifter here.
Blue Eyes Dimples at the time to make them vote Pat Robertson into office with their agenda for it.
Thanks for asking about that, by the way, Missing Time. You had me going in my Rolodex of memories here trying to see what I remember from all that. It was good times. And my friend that got me into watching The Matrix, Mike, I still talk with him now. There were a few years I wasn't talking. Like, that, things come and go. Friends, if you get into arguments sometimes, it happens. Or you just move on, and different life paths you don't cross as much anymore. But I made amends with him. He was my childhood friend growing up. And we had a lot of fun. I made sure to surround myself with people that made me laugh. That was like my main objective from like 5th grade through high school. And then by college, everybody was trying to make me drink myself to death. And thankfully, I am completely sober from alcohol. It's been like almost 4 years. It's pretty wild. I'm proud of myself for that. Like, I wouldn't be able to do any of these shows if I was still drinking. It's a terrible thing to have take over your life. And I abused it. I abused drinking a lot. And I really shouldn't have. But I'm thankful I'm here now. And I feel closer to Christ. And it's not an excuse or a band-aid for things that I've done. I made poor decisions that affected me and my loved ones. So not drinking is the way to go. At least for me. I really think alcohol should be outright banned because people die from that. People can die from alcohol, but like with it just the government's all ass backwards. It's like cannabis should not be like a Schedule 1 narcotic. It's fucking crazy.
Endless war. What happened was the FBI confided some things too. The FBI for a long time has had that tech, the Havana syndrome, and now they're trying to blame it like they did in the 60 Minutes segment on Russian criminal aspects.
You see this, Tom is very skillful at taking real world events and somehow tying it into whatever's going on in his life. And I think that's what made him so enticing at the beginning of all of this, is that it sounded like it made sense. But really all that Tom is doing is wrapping himself into all of these other real world events. That's why he name drops Pat Robertson. That's why he name drops Elon Musk. Because all of this can circle back to him if he makes up enough bullshit. Let's finish watching.
It's like Russian criminal, like mafia, I don't think they have scientists hired to create tech, high tech, innovative tech. It's like saying Joe Pescio came up with transporters tech. It's like, no, they're not doing that. But the FBI blamed Russia for letting them buy the tech. Like 2 years ago, the FBI's had this tech since 2014. I know that because I've had privy information. So I was exposed to it. Many dignitaries, the Havana syndrome was the U.S. and Canadian embassies were hit with that sonic stuff, and that was on purpose as plausible deniability by the FBI that, it wasn't us, it was somebody else. It was the FBI. They experiment on their own, so it looks like they didn't do it, right? And so you see agents dropping in Moscow at restaurants, things like that. But the debilitating effect you're talking about, that's what happened to me in interviews recently, where you go vertigo, strong vertigo. You have the ear thing, where it's like a high pitch.
I think this is very pivotal to... I think Tom is speaking some truth here. I think Tom does get vertigo. It seems like he does. If his head starts spinning like that, that's a problem, man. Tom, get your head checked out, literally. It could save your life. Like, if there's something going on up there, if there's a tumor up there, man, that's not good. Go to the doctor and get yourself checked out. I hope Tom's taking care of his health. He was eating pretty healthy when I was over there 2 years ago. I hope it's the same case now. Although he was polite with eating the food I made him. Then he goes on later to say that I was burning all the dishes I was making him, which is untrue. Again, Tom Althouse is a liar. He said my food tasted great. And when he got sick, it was after the spraying of the low range planes doing the crop dusting, I believe. But like, why right over his house in a subdivision? It makes no sense with that. That was weird. I'll give it that much. That was a weird thing to experience while I was there at his house. Midwest Mangler says we all wanted to believe. Yeah. We all wanted to believe Tom. Until the string on his back retracted all back up into him like a Woody doll. And then you realize that's all he could say. Pat Robertson, Elon Musk, Matrix, Warner Brothers, Joel Silver, Honeypot Wife. No deviation. Missing time says it's 3:33 right now. That's a good... Is that a good number? I don't know. I heard that was the Christ number. I could be wrong, though. I know 444 is a good number too. 444 is the angelic number.
Nice.
Fluctuating thing, and they say that allows to imitate biorhythm and heart patterns and affect you physiologically. So you have cramping and everything else. That's been happening to me a lot. And
Targeted individuals is the subject, right?
Yeah. So then you said it makes you look like, you lose your cognitive at key moments. It makes it look like you shouldn't be listening to.
No. This is him paper macheing his flaws as a human when he can't explain his answer coherently because he doesn't have an answer. A question is raised, he starts talking about other shit. I mean, it's clear as day here now. And it's really sad that he's trying to cover all that up.
So, and that it goes with the idea of, like you're saying, like you can't put two sentences together. No, I can do it. And I learned how to overcome it by not letting it overwhelm me. So when it hits me, I comment on it and get back up, like Tom Cruise in Samurai.
But he doesn't correct himself for misspeaking the word crayon. Even I try to, like, fix whatever I'm trying to say if I say it wrong. He just rolls through. Starts sounding like he's having a stroke.
Last Samurai, you get back up and you just tell yourself, I'm going to get back up even when it hits me. So you go vertigo and then back up. And you learn to find strength in it, that they must be concerned of your influence if they're going to spend that much time to try to take you down. So, yeah. And why aren't the FBI taking me out? Now, Sophia Stewart says they'll come for me. My sister, who was bought off, said they'll come for me. They said they use medical, doctors to put me away. I have a message from Sophia Stewart saying that. She's a handler. And, but no.
Oh. So he admits Sophia Stewart's a handler? I really want to know what's going on with Sophia Stewart, by the way. Because she's the first person I heard that, she was the original writer of The Matrix. I heard that shit when I was in college. (2008, 2009). I heard about Sophia Stewart back then. Didn't hear anything about this guy. I just so happened to come across a BitChute channel back in I don't even know, 2021? Like late 2021. It's the first time I heard of Tom Althouse, and I couldn't get enough of watching him because he seemed so confident with what he was saying. But little did I know is that there was only so much he could say. And that's the real tragedy of it all, isn't it?
I'm considered an asset. I'm sure a lot of us are. We've talked about this. So because I was downloaded this stuff, it makes me a person of importance to them where more downloads can come. I'm a conduit. Information system. So
okay.
More can come.
So he just lets the demons take over, and then he writes a whole script, and then he thinks he's the writer of The Matrix 20 years after the fact. Right? Because he's saying 1988, he got this premonition to write The Immortals. And then he didn't realize that The Immortals was The Matrix until like 2008, 2009. So that's 20 years. But he's just a conduit. For what? Who's using you as a conduit, Tom? Have you ever thought it could be demons?
They want that, so they're not going to take me out. They're going to take my sons out instead. And my one son was killed X-Files style, I'm told, with a snowplow up against his SUV. Didn't even damage the SUV as far as I can tell, and claimed he died instantly after he had warned.
Notice he just says X-Files style. What the fuck does that even mean? He doesn't reference a specific episode, like a title of the episode, what happens with the characters in the episode, and how it parallels his son. Where is that? Why doesn't he reference it here? Is it because he has vertigo? Again? And he's blaming it on frequency waves that's stopping him from doing these interviews on channels that aren't even that big. Just keep in mind, everyone, he went on a 200 subscriber channel to bitch about my small 2,000 subscriber channel. He went on a channel 10 times smaller than mine to bitch about how small and insignificant I was to him. Remember, just keep that in mind. Hey, John, good to see you here. Midwest Mangler says, now he's a conduit. Gotcha, Tom. John says, what's up? Hey, we're flying. If you just got here now, Tom, or John, yeah, John and Tom, why not? Go back and watch the intro to today's show once we're done. Because I think it highlights a lot of what's really going on here. We're getting closer to figuring out what Tom really is, who Tom really is. Like, we're not going to be told outright, but the intro, John, go and check that out. Since we're talking about Tom and some reason, you see that? I'm not going to blame like Vertigo and radio wave weapons for the reason why I said Tom instead of John. It's just we're talking about Tom here. John says, how dare you? I'm sorry. I'm only a human, that's all I am. I'm not a robot like Tom here. Missing Tom, missing Tom, oh no! The Tom virus is getting to my head here. It's crazy. Missing Time says, in the X-Files movie, I want to believe Mulder is pushed off the road by an angry snowplow driver. And I only know that because the director's cut just came out like yesterday on Hulu. Oh, wow, okay. X-Files movie, okay. Midwest Mangler says, wasn't that how one of his boys was killed by a runaway snowplow? Correct me if I'm wrong, Steven. That's what he claims, yeah. He claims a runaway snowplow, or a snowplow that left the scene of the crime. I believe he said that was Sean. I don't even know anymore.
For me, after a hit and run in Canada, where after the hit and run, Joel Silver took his name off Oliver Cartman the day after. And then my son was killed the day after we had a conversation with him. He said, drive safe. My other son was drowned in a lap pool in a military base in Japan. You can look it up. Kirk Daniel Althouse was killed.
Oh, wow. He showed a picture finally. Look at that. Let's zoom in on this. What was this, a graduation photo he was sent in the mail? Why isn't it a photo of him with his son? That's what I'm trying to ask here. Why isn't that photo up on the wall behind him? Why aren't there any photos he's showing with him? Yeah. Midwest Mangler says, first time I've ever seen one of his kids. Ain't that sad? Like, he talks about them all the time, but then when it comes to actually like showing things, he just never does it. Hold on. I'm trying to reselect this video here. Man, this... I made it so big I almost really couldn't navigate this thing. Yeah, and again, look at what he's saying down there. Tom Althouse, author of Matrix, writer of the Matrix screenplay. No, he's not. No, he's not. Yeah, that kind of looks like him. I'm not saying I don't believe that's his son. I just don't believe that he doesn't have any photos of him with his own son. And this is the one he chooses to show everybody. That's wild.
On that base, military base. And that was to send a message. And so that's a Masonic death. In the Masons, you take the vow that if you ever betray the Masons, you will die disemboweled in the shallows, a cable length from shore. So they killed my son in the shallows after he told me what had happened to him with Pat Robertson's group. So this is to create despair and distress. And what I'm being told now...
That's a lot of new information, isn't it?
Was the agencies don't understand how I kept going. Well, I keep going because compassion. I keep going because my promise is I will meet the remnant. I will meet those that actually have succeeded. There's no greater honor for me to meet others that did what I did and survive the gauntlet and survive the furnace. And now I'm getting to do that. And it's nice to meet you, Sean.
Does he think this is a game? He's talking like... Man, it's crazy I'm even thinking about this. It feels like he's talking about like he became part of a club that's like 100% completion of a video game. Fucking wild.
And nice to meet you too. I'm glad you're carrying the flame, and I'm sorry that happened to you.
You see how this disarms Tom, by the way, or Sean? You see how this disarms Sean? By Tom doing that, it makes Sean recoil and grovel and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Yeah. Let's forget about everything, all the bullshit you just said for the past 3 hours. Yeah. Missing Time asks, wait, is he claiming he was a Mason and left so they did it? It sounds like let's go back real quick, because he was talking about...
on that base, a military base.
Let's listen here.
And that was to send a message. And so that's a Masonic death. In the Masons, you take the vow that if you ever betray the Masons, you will die disemboweled in the shallows, a cable length from shore. So they killed my son in the shallows after he told me what had happened to him with Pat Robertson's group.
So how did his son get involved with Pat Robertson's group after Tom went through all of that himself? How did both of them end up with Pat Robertson? Why wouldn't Tom protect his son from going to Pat Robertson's group after what happened to Tom? That's a serious question. Why would he even allow his son anywhere near Pat Robertson? Midwest Mangler says, then his other kid was drowned in a shallow pool at a military base and nobody witnessing this incredible claim. Yeah. There's stuff we're not being told here.
So this is to create despair and distress. And what I'm being told now is the agencies don't understand how I kept going. Well, I keep going because compassion. I keep going because my promise is I will meet the remnant. I'll meet those that actually have succeeded. There's no greater honor for me to meet others that did what I did.
If Tom really was like initiated into Freemasonry, don't you think he would be talking about the Masonic handshake too? And people he gave it to, or people who tried to give that handshake to him? Like, that just occurred to me. Like, I don't think he's ever talked about doing a Masonic handshake with anybody.
and survived the gauntlet and survived the furnace. And now I'm getting to do that. And it's nice to meet you, Sean.
And nice to meet you too. I'm glad you're carrying the flame. And I'm sorry that happened to you. Deepest condolences. And yeah, I find that with targeted individuals, as I am as well, assets. I agree. They're parasites. They don't want to just kill off the host. They, especially when you're a bright light and continuously, they at least try to feed on you. Right. But yeah, there's like aspects to it that make it so that you're off limits. That being said, you can even increase that to a high potential where it gets rid of other remaining symptoms.
Yes.
Which I can help, and it'll be fun.
Thank you.
And like some may notice, like when you tell the truth too much, it feels like something's choking you, or like or a plug into the back of the neck, or like some limiting. Handlers from in person, around, even being born into with family members, handlers from a distance, sonically influencing both physical.
It really feels to me like Tom's get out of jail free card from every interview is, if all else fails, bring up the Suns. Because then that detracts from everything. You see how it reframed this interview? Sean is not going to ask these pressing questions that need to be asked.
Human, possibly alien, possibly in other sentience, possibly in spiritual world, like with demons and astral. Trying to handle humanity, because of what happens here affects most other places. What is your beliefs? And the common term, and I use it myself, is when I find people are being handled, and sometimes I will see family members switch in and out of an altar, and they won't even remember when it happens, as like a handling position, or like angry, or shuts down a conversation, or doesn't want you to go into subject, tries to influence you. I go, oh, Agent Smith's coming in. Have you noticed things like that with targeting, handling, and
oh, absolutely. In fact, family members being employed and offered lavish rewards and honors is part of the go-to FBI play card. And the reason the FBI is involved in this is because they're the ones that are supposed to protect Hollywood material or intellectual property. You see it on a lot of the films where they start, FBI warning. And they found that they could be like the gold cloaks in Game of Thrones. They benefit.
There he is again, Game of Thrones. He just loves that degenerate filth, doesn't he? John says he didn't say anything about that in your interviews. Yeah, I believe that. I don't recall him ever saying anything to that detail and that length. The Midwest Mangler says he brought up the deaths of his sons, but this is the first time Tom is claiming they were Masonic retaliation for speaking out against Pat Robertson. I'm actually shocked that he said that because his son spoke out against Pat Robertson, like he makes it appear like his son went to go do the same thing that he did. Like followed in his footsteps. What's that all about?
More by assisting in the theft, since they're the ones guarding the treasure house, rather than helping the poor writers. And so it became good business to take from the writers and their families, which is the strategy Disney came up with. But yes, families are employed, family members to turn, and it's called sourcing, which they source you back to know where to go, basically to be homeless in the end. And then they say to you, it's a shame, you had such talent, you had such potentials, but they keep you on the bench, as they call it. They had a honeypot wife named Stephanie Tanner that was coming my way to replace the other honeypot wife I had. And she said, I'm not supposed to contact you yet. She was the wife of Napoleon Dynamite writer, who she said just left everything, just left. Well, what did you do to him? And so she's saying, yeah, come to Idaho.
What? All right, I gotta write that name down. Stephanie Tanner. I don't think that name ever came up in the 22 interviews I did with this guy. Napoleon Dynamite writer. What, Napoleon Dynamite writer's girlfriend? Wife? Why was she contacting him?
Oh, you can raise alpacas. I'll be gentle with you. You'll have a life. That was the offer I had in the end. Since
Raise alpacas like the Austin Powers gag?
I wouldn't shut up. So I would have them. And so she's saying, yeah, come to Idaho. You can raise alpacas. I'll be gentle with you. You'll have a life. That was the offer I had in the end, since I wouldn't shut up. So I would have a wife who was pretty, and she said that she was actually from childhood, University of Berkeley with her sister. Her sister married Patrick, Tanner married Patrick from Columbia University, that became the litigation content control guy at Warner Brothers and was the one responsible for the ripoff of Superman. So she said, like, yeah, you'd be having Thanksgiving dinner. If you marry me, if you come to me from Canada after Hit and Run, you'll be having Thanksgiving dinner with the guy that orchestrated.
Why are these women asking Tom to marry him? He didn't think that was weird. Like, by the second or third time, he didn't think that was weird. You think he sat down and thought about, oh yeah, my life in Idaho, that'd be nice with the alpacas, and everything will be gentle. Doesn't seem to add up here. Oh, sweet. We still got a bit more left for the music here. I thought the music ended.
The theft of your work, but you'll be in the circle. You'll be in the circle and safe. That's one of the offers. So it is the higher the value of money, the more they're going to also employ your family members to be involved. Where my sister is with the FBI Congressman, Brian Fitzpatrick. She gets black tie dinners. She gets engraved invitations. She gets trips to Mediterranean. And she's like.
His sister is with Brian Fitzpatrick. Wow. Either I forgot about that, or that's a new detail. I might have forgotten about it.
Elementary school counselor, unlicensed psychologist. So it's like, but those rewards are so big that she sold out, and it makes her feel like she matters. Taking around at dinners to meet all these dignitaries. So she feels like she's got a real future because she's with this congressman, who's the only lifelong FBI operative in Congress, which is a conflict of interest. So yeah, as far as the metaphysical kind of thing, or the thing where it's like a spiritual attack, that seems to come in too. My sister does the seances, all that stuff. And it's like, you do feel the effects on this on certain days where it's like a shadow appears, and you're like, I go over rational. I'll look at things like Scrooge on Christmas, I'll be like, no, you're just a piece of pork I hate. But the thing is, like, no, you actually see these things, even from that mindset, you're going like, okay, this is something going on here. Send you back, like you said, send it back with love to the source. And that's what I try to do. And that seems to work. So I don't know how that all plays out. Just like I left it open on when you jack in, can you influence your memories? And that must have drove the Game of Thrones guys nuts. In fact, the Warner Brothers exec said, we know we have something cool, but we don't understand it. That's what they opened with when they turned to the Wachowskis and Joel Silver to explain it. Wachowski's couldn't explain it. Joel Silver got it wrong and said, it's robots in the program. This guy, Bob, is in the article going, what do you mean robots in the program? He's like, it's robots in the program, Bob. Later, after having all my notes through Discovery, through the sequel case, not the Matrix case, that hadn't happened yet, he comes out with Oblivion, where it's robot-like agents. And he names the main characters Julie and Jack, which are my two siblings' names that sold out. So yeah, it's just a game they play. He comes out with Oblivion, where it's robot-like agents, and he names the main characters Julie and Jack, which are my two siblings' names that sold out. So he doesn't have
The
it yet.
names?
He
Sorry.
comes out with Oblivion, where it's robot-like agents, and he names the main characters Julie and Jack.
Julie and Jack, his two siblings. I have a question. Why is the wife of his protagonist in The Immortals named after his sister? I'll let you guys ponder why, possibly.
Which are my two siblings' names that sold out. So yeah, it's just a game they play.
Very interesting.
I don't know if that answers the question, but there's a gamut to it, and I try to pick and choose.
Midwest Mangler says some new names to the story, but ultimately, what does any of this new storyline have to do with anything? And that's a great question. What does this have to do with anything? It just makes me want to contact, I guess, his sister, Julie, who's with Brian Fitzpatrick. Would she even come on the air to talk about this stuff? I don't think so. I'd have a better chance of getting William Gibson, the author of Neuromancer, on here before I'd get his sister to talk about him. That's wild.
Yeah. So some people feel they being here, but besides, I kind of go into I like being here, and there's a greater miracle.
I'm gonna reiterate this. Tom's sister's name is Julie, and Julia is the name of his main protagonist's wife in The Immortals. I'm pretty sure I have that right. Tell me if I'm misremembering. I'm pulling up the script real quick here on my side. It's Julia. His main character is Jim. His main character's wife is Julia. And his real life Tom's real life sister's name is Julie.
Purpose for it all, but I also do feel this sometimes where some people feel they're trapped here, trapped in this body. That and if you're surrounded with 5G and all these more constructs to bring people into a inspired negative matrix, then it goes to where you dream less, you have less spiritual experiences, you have less connection to God, and so what is your perception on that and getting out of that?
That's one of the damning things about the neural enhancer, Neuralink, what they're doing with it. They can actually program it in as blockers. Now, what is faith and what is the spiritual experience? Whatever your belief system is, there's a certain physicality that occurs in a connection with, in a spiritual way. And I think you're still there. And so what happens is,
yeah, I'm still there.
put blockers in it where you will not feel like you're connected to God. You will not feel like you're connected to the Holy Spirit, if you will, or if you're Indian or whatever. You are going to start to feel like something's not right. I don't feel the same way.
Did he really just say if you're Indian or whatever?
Like you're connected to God. You will not feel like you're connected to the Holy Spirit, if you will, or if you're Indian or whatever. you're going to start to feel like something's not right. I don't feel the same way I did before when I had my spiritual experiences.
Help me, I'm Indian. I don't feel connected to God.
The neural link can do that. It can put dampers and blockers. Once your mind is conditioned with that, it's akin to losing your ability to feel your faith, if it makes any sense. And so that's a real danger, one of the dangers in the application of the Neuralink as a universal thing, especially the dumbed down version they're going to offer. Watch be offered for the 99%. They're going to offer the lower version. And how would you like the agents to have the higher version over you of cognitive abilities and readouts while you have a lower version? I mean, that's just like put the shackles on yourself. So yeah, that's another warning about this. I often use the illustration of the interrogation room, where in the future what will happen is, they're giddy about this tech, and Warner Bros. Loves having the ownership of it, that they think, I can still claim it back, I'm going to fight.
Hey, Tom, if Tom's still planning on going on Sean's show, Sean, if you get him back on, you should just hammer him with all of the really difficult questions and get him to answer you. If you were to ever do another interview, just shower him with all the hardest hitting questions you could think of, just to see what his answer will be. But for your sake, I hope you don't interview him again. It's been 5 months and you haven't had him back on. Again, maybe you saw my channel, maybe you've seen what I've talked about now and you've thought better of it. But Sean, if you do bring him back on, get to the meat and potatoes. Question him relentlessly. Be an investigative journalist. Get him to answer things for you, man.
For this tooth and nail, whatever tooth and nail means. But the thing is, if you had a loved one into an interrogation room by agents, say the FBI, who's really the ones that love this stuff, and this is like the next toy above the Havana Syndrome one, they bring you in, you and a daughter, and they face you with a daughter, and in moments they can change the whole dynamic of your relationship if you have been dependent on the Neuralink. So you have Neuralink responsible for storing memories, cognitive recognition, readouts on whoever you see, or remember every instant where you interacted, including your loved ones. All right. So what happens is they face you and say, look, Sean, for your own good and for your daughter's safety, I think it's time that we, intercede here. And we do have some questions for you, but first we're going to remove your daughter's Neuralink. We think she's been compromised, and we're concerned about your relationship with her. So we're going to take her Neuralink out right now. Now what happens is when they take the Neuralink in front of you on purpose, your daughter's going to lose bodily function.
Midwest Mangler says Sean went off the air briefly to laugh at Tom. Yeah, I thought about that too. I wonder why he just left like that.
It's been dependent on it. It's been a long period of time. She's not going to recognize you. She's going to be very frightened and scared. She won't even know who you are. Right in front of you. Suddenly, the years of your bonding just disappeared, in a sense, at that face level. They'll take her away. Okay, honey, it's okay. We'll take care of you. A nurse standing by who seems very nice. They'll take her from the room. You're already getting the picture, right? And in that scenario, you know what's going on. And so then they address you. They're going to have to take your Neuralink also. Now, understand they're going to be adapting it. Understand that this is a pedophile ring. The Epstein Files is not a myth. Our top leaders are involved in this whole thing right across the board.
Here's his whole spiel. 9/11 was an inside job. Blah, 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 blah. Just ranting off all of these, like, known things. All right? The Matrix is a prison. This is the Tom platitudes.
It's true. And that's the dirt that Disney and the religious right have on everybody. And certain other elements I won't even mention right now. So the thing is...
Oh, why not? Just mention it all, man. Why are you holding back, Tom? You waiting for the next host to go and share it on there for? Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing hundreds of interviews and treating it like it's fast food and just on to the next, maybe the next guy will click the right way, right? Or maybe the next woman, right? They'll try to flirt with and get together with. They're just trying to host you on their show and they're trying to like flirt with these women. What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Like they'll be able to take your memories. Let's say your daughter, when she was 2 years old, your wife asked you to give her a bath, you give her a bath. Well, picture that memory being utilized, all tangible, all feeling, complete memory with tactile of them experiencing bathing your young daughter as pedophiles. Your intellectual property, your codes to your safe, your thoughts, your private thoughts, they can convict you.
These are thoughts coming from Tom, by the way. Keep this in mind. That this neural enhancer that he's speaking of does not exist. As of right now, nobody has the ability to just plug into someone's memory bank and experience everything as that person lived it. Unless it is already there. I mean, it all goes into hypotheticals and speculation. And he's going to the worst portions of it. He'll say, oh, I won't talk about this. But let me talk about the whole thing with pedophilia and the daughters and all this and bathing them. Like, why?
You in that gray area between dreaming and waking, and they can broadcast it to a world. If you're a high-level figure in Target, Sean, which I believe you are, they can replay your memories, select memories for the world, saying, look what he thought at this moment, where you're not even fully awake. Maybe you're remembering a former girlfriend in a certain way. That is broadcast to a world to convict you as being whatever they want to convict you as. It's pick and choose out of the Easter basket. So that's why the Neuralink is a very, very bad thing. It is our own enslavement. Now, at first, like the vaccine, they're going to say that it's voluntary. They're going to pressure you with family members that already have it. You ask about family members. You'll have family members that will appear and go, look, why won't you take this and connect with us in the intimate way, in a real family way, and be part of it? You'll know where your daughter is, and if she's in danger, you'll feel it. You'll know where she is. Why won't you take this technology, Sean? You know, why won't you share with us life? Now, if you don't give in, later it'll become mandatory. You'll have to have one. You know, they may say it's a trial period, but you'll become dependent on it. That's what's in the screenplay. So in the screen...
Oh, really? Really? Now it all makes sense, Tom, because you said it was in the screenplay. The screenplay that nobody can read because you don't let anybody read it. You can't even read it yourself.
They take your memories. They take your memories, and when that's removed, you lost your memories because you become dependent on it for those memories. In our screenplay, Neo is told, take time. You know, remember said the architect disease your neural enhancer. Take some time to pick 3 memories that you'll try to hold on to. That's about all you'll be able to do. You're not used to working outside of it. Oh, you're always assisted by it.
Why not 1 memory or 2 memories or 4 memories? Why is it 3? Why not 5 memories? 7 memories?
So pick 3 memories, try to hold on to it, and then we'll remove yours, and you have to deal with Smith's memories now. Figure that out. That's why they have Trinity.
Not Behringer, right? Smith's memory. He always has to come back to crediting the Wachowskis, doesn't he?
When Neo's blindfolded going to the dome, which the dome's in there, and yes, she has Trinity helping him, and that's...
The dome? You mean the Machine City? There's no dome in the Matrix trilogy, man. What are you smoking?
That's why, you know, they have him blindfolded, bloody, overdoing it, and she has to help him because he's dealing with Smith's memories while he's going. They don't show you that, or what those memories are. Part of those memories that Smith has, that Neo's experiencing by using his enhancer, is his daughter in flames and the rape of his wife, from Smith's perspective. That's why Trinity's there in the vessel with him, but they don't show it. They didn't want to.
What?
So wait till you see the real movie, and what Neo, even in that scene, was suffering, and why Trinity had to be alone.
Well, thank you. That's well said. Now,
Wow. No, you know what, Sean? That is such a weak approach being a host. Oh, why it makes so much sense. What the fuck makes sense about what he just said? I'd love to know. Am I just an idiot? Tom thinks I am.
going into so some triggering, interesting things I know my audience would be interested. And thank you for starting all this because it's like really bringing this information about the higher dimensions. Because these are concepts that didn't exist.
Look at him. Just look at Tom.
And thank you for starting all this because it's like really bringing this information about the higher dimensions.
Look at this dude. He looks like he hasn't had sleep in days, and this is back in March. Did Steven Yissilmissil keep you up? You couldn't sleep. You had to do this interview to clear the air?
Because these are concepts that didn't exist.
Keep in mind, this is the same 3-hour interview that we've been covering the past 4 shows, that he's mentioned me by name several times in this one interview. Just keep that in mind. And we're still picking this shit apart.
Before this, and now they build up all these different concepts of reality that are the higher dimensions want us to face and understand.
By the way, Chad, if you're still here, Brenda's looking for you in the chat if you're listening.
My higher self and God and my guides keep telling me throughout my life to go to these concepts found in this movie from your screenplay. So it's a big, important, life-changing, timeline-changing thing that you put into motion, and to build on that. So the concepts of the Matrix come from like holographic light splitting infinitely to create
Imagine one of these interviewers just blatantly near the end saying, "Yeah, I don't believe you." Imagine how Tom would handle that. He wouldn't be able to. I think of that though. Not a single one of these hosts has said to his face, "I don't believe you." And I'd love to see the reaction that Tom would have to that. Well, I guess this interview's done then. Right? That's pretty much all he'd do. He'd sign off. At the first inkling of doubt from the host, he would sign the fuck off of the interview. Never to speak to him again like he did with me, right? Because what, I put a seed of doubt in his mind about Penny? The one that ended up almost killing some of our close friends here? And that's true. Brenda ended up in the hospital after having something that possibly was, what was it? Water laced with rat poison? This bitch actually goes out and tries to kill people. And so we try to warn Tom against this woman, and then Tom just is like, nah, you're trying to rip me apart from my friends. My friends. Penny's not your friend, Tom. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but Penny is not your friend. Full stop.
constructs of perceived reality and interpretations of the brain and what we get into that. And then Dreamweave in Native American circles of this reality is a dream too, and different rules and simulation theory, holographic theory, going into the concepts of like base code and the finite going down to atoms and photons and beyond. And like, what is this reality? Like, if you want to go into this reality being called the Matrix, or the Matrix being a layer of this reality and it being more intricate in separating natural from synthetic and beyond. So like some people go into what
I have to put it on 1.5 speed because I want to finish this today. I will not let this go another several shows. This needs to be done now. Ah, man, where's the speed on it? It's been so long, I don't even know how to change this freaking speed on this now. Alright, whatever.
we need to be wary of for the future, like with greater, deeper simulations and being thrust into and separating from that. And so I agree, and thank you for touching upon that. That's what people need to be warned about. Now, also, I see it as there's multiple layers. The satanic, possessed, demonic hierarchies that fractal down as puppets from evil are trying to bring us into greater layers of prisons. So that's the future.
Right.
So I also see that they've already put certain types of prisons, and we have the ability and the power within us to free ourselves from those. And part of that is awakening, but like then going deeper into why are we who we are? What are we? And then what is humanity in the connection to God, deeper than most other ET species? Oh, what the heck with that power? And why is this power being suppressed and limited? And how are they suppressing that? As what Christ figures that have freed themselves from a quote unquote matrix has gone into, where they have the way out is within, and that they call upon us, all yourself, to become more Christ-like. Right. And there seems to be this deeper layer of freeing themselves from matrix spiritually that may have had a history to it of older layers of quote unquote matrices thrust upon us, or body, or whatever. What is your theories on that?
I love it. And one of the things that, of course, you gave me layers of stuff. And so I'm going to look at what I learned to do, even at a young age, was like lucid dream, free my mind into the layers of what you just gave. You gave me a whole smorgasbord. And one of the things that I saw right away was the, what was it? The idea of, what was that layer? There was a layer that I just loved. I saw it right away. Well, I just lost it too with the other layers. Wait a second. That's what happens too. That there is.
Yeah, Agent Smith's take it from there.
The gauntlet thing, right? About the gauntlet, that you go through the gauntlet, go through the fire, and come out the other end. Universally, and I'm just throwing this out, that this is what I was given. I was given the words, "You have suffered enough." That's the words I heard. You have suffered enough. Well, I mean, not audibly, but in knowledge. And the idea was, there's some kind of rule where if you can last and make it through all the horrors, you don't have to end up in a psych ward. You can end up where there's a no-touch rule, a no-touch rule. And that's what was given to me. That there's those of us.
But you ended up in the psych ward anyway. He showed me the pictures while I interviewed him. Like, it's on the channel here. He's like, this is when I was like, what, 303 or whatever the fuck he said. I want to know how he got the picture of him inside the mental institution to begin with. Who took the picture?
That are part of that remnant group now, that have come together. And we do not get tempted. We do not get hit spiritually. We don't get anything happening to us, which is, I think, the precursor to the idea of keep your natural mind and all the dynamics of it with those positive layers, right? And another element that I like to apply too, which is anything that's happened to you that's been horrific, like the death of my sons in my case, there's a way that I use my mind, and so what I was given was, there's a back part to my mind, which I call the elm, like a tree. And I tell myself, my mind, that whatever's horrible is going back into that to be used for reference, like a reference library. Now,
why is this coming off to me like this is all a coping mechanism for him losing his sons? And that's all it is. And now he's convinced himself that he's the writer of the Matrix. The writer of the Matrix. says it right there. So it must be true, right? Crazy. I'm trying to give as genuine a reaction as I possibly
happens
can.
mentally to me is my mind goes, okay, we dealt with it. So I'm never chewing on it. I'm never going like collapsing. I'm going on a memory that might trigger. What happens is I just point to, it's in the...
Wait, he says he's not collapsing? Then what do you explain? What do you say that the vertigo is then, dude? You say that you shut down basically when you get hard questions asked and your head starts spinning and you feel like you need to drop on the floor. How's that not that?
We dealt with it. So I'm never chewing on it. I'm never going like collapsing. I'm going on a memory that might trigger. What happens is I just point to, it's in the reference section. And the idea is that bad can be used for good. So by saying to my mind that horrific stuff, like the death of my children being explained to me that was supposed to bring despair, that's in the reference section to help others later when need to be called upon. I withdraw that to turn bad into good by using it for good. That seems to answer the question for the mind to keep it from being something that would harm us further. That it will be used for good as needed. And then the mind doesn't chew on it. So I don't have anything I'm chewing on. And that allows the creativity to free up fully. So I call it the elm. But that freed me so much with the idea too, you've suffered enough.
John says, I don't think that's true, but I think he would use that angle in court. Well, like if anybody actually sued him for defamation, he would plead insanity. Like that's his only way out of this.
There's no touch rule. And it's another thing with the agencies. They seem to know it all. They seem to know basically what's going on, I guess, through others that they worked on, or tagged, or whatever, brought in, or maybe enticed some of them. Because they seem to indicate the same thing to me. You won't be touched anymore. We're not going to come after you anymore. And I took it as, Sean, as an asset, maybe. Maybe, you know,
if he truly thinks that he's untouchable now and nobody's coming after him anymore, then why the fuck is he saying that I'm being paid by the government to go after him?
It's the one, that Stephanie Tanner girl, the one with Patrick, sister married to Patrick and Warner Brothers. She had said that you're the star player on the bench. That's how they see you. Star player on the bench, the golden goose. So until I play along and steal other work for them and work with them that way, I'm on the bench. But the other side of that too, if you apply this idea of the no touch rule, maybe it's something more on another level where the universe does have certain rules. And I'm just throwing it out to you and your audience because I don't know the answers to this. And that's one of the reasons I wrote the piece too, to ask more questions. For some reason, this seems to be in effect. And the agencies are reflecting that. So that would account for the CIA breaking in, which we call a break back rather than a break in. A break back where they restored my stuff right on my bed.
Who believes this shit? The break-in without a break-in.
So that would account for the CIA breaking in, which we call a break back rather than a break in. A break back where they restored my stuff right on my bed. All those working drafts are here. I got them all, which means we win our case. This whole strategy of Warner Brothers, take away the pre-96.
Yeah, so then what about Philip K. Dick in 1977? What about William Gibson's Neuromancer in 1984? What about Ghost in the Shell from 1988? Are all of those irrelevant to this? It's just Tom is the beginning and the end. Jeez.
Because they didn't have it. So anyway, I'm just throwing it out to you that there seems to be like that in effect. Go ahead.
Yeah, it seems to go pivotal anchors to the timeline.
Breakback Mountain at Tom's in Texas. Right? I don't even know anymore, man. We could make fun, but like, this is just sad.
That different authorities in Light and Dark are playing chess games with the lower levels and realms and stuff. And there's importances for people being stabilized and strong and existing for more things to occur. And especially if you meet the you're required by both the light and the dark, then you stay.
John says, yeah, insanity, slave to ego. And Midwest Mangler says, the break-in was actually a break-back. Again, who actually believes in this story of him having all the scripts giving back Like, just listen to him again.
The lower levels and realms and stuff. And there's importances for people being stabilized and strong and existing for more things to occur. And especially if you meet the you're required by both the light and the dark, then you stay. And there's many other layers to that and being not touched and like levels of targeting you can even bring down. I myself I keep reading more and more reasons. And then you can also end up in a do not fuck with list based on certain things you omit and spiritual protection that causes locomotion and chaos in others' lives that are a threat to you. Right. Interesting. And I don't want to have this show go on forever. I know. Like, my God, you are an awesome person, and it's probably one of my favorite shows. This show. So it's so interesting, and I think we could keep going forever. But I don't want to keep you. I know you're probably busy. Definitely.
It's almost worse than a drug, isn't it? When I was watching the initial interviews that I found Tom through, I couldn't get enough of it. Like, I just wanted more and more and more. And then you start seeing the fabric unwind and unravel, and it's like, wait a minute, like, it's the same shit over and over. I'm not getting like the extra stuff that I'm like anticipating here. And then it reverts back into itself. And then John says here, we are observing a meta crash out. That's very well said. Like, hey.
I think we got to do more shows. I got tons. So for people out there, what they can look forward to. So if you guys
do more shows. We got tons. 5 months later, nothing. Oh, and by the way, apparently, Tom has written Roseanne off now, from what I've heard. I think Midwest Mangler mentioned that a little while ago to me. We'll find that out shortly in this series of shows, but I think it's connected with the Michael Jaco interview, and we'll cover the outline of that at the end of today's show. What I plan to cover.
Share this video out, spread it as much as possible. Help Tom support him, support his timeline. Help him get this information out, get it to where he's more able to win these cases, making a better timeline. Please share this as much as possible. The more we see it shared, the more shows we'll do. Destroy that like, smash that notification bell.
More views he gets, the more shows he'll do. Smash that like. Right? Everyone here, remember to smash the like button down there.
Leave a lovely comment for Tom. Again, share 5 friends and all that. What's coming up next in another show we're going to do, so get this out there. If you guys shared enough, we're going to go into the physics of the Matrix. We're going to go into the past possibilities of older civilizations, other ET groups with the concept of the Matrix, or holograms and simulation realities, the hologram of light splitting infinitely of like the galaxy fractaling down to the solar, to the Earth, going into psionic ability management for constructs of Matrix and how I've seen them overlaid, how we can free ourselves, how we can make a locomotion of an equation to free more of humanity.
Did Sean ever do that show? Because I didn't see, I searched his channel for Tom Althouse, and this is the only video that came up the other day. John says, you pulled a, quote, Sherlock Holmes on him. That I didn't intend to do that. But I want to get to the bottom of this shit, and it seems like, like we hit bottom. But don't underestimate that. It could always go a lot further down, right? How deep do you want to go down the rabbit hole of Tom Althouse? Join me.
From this constraint on their consciousness and awaken this soul expansionary soul flare to bring about a greater humanity renaissance. And so many other things that we're going to talk about. Like, I got like this whole page filled up with I wanted to talk about. Yeah. So we're going to also look forward to that, guys.
Hey, you got a whole page of shit, huh? You got a whole page? What about something like this? Sean, you want me to mail you this? 'Cause I have no use for this shit anymore. You want all this? You want all my notes, Sean? The shit's falling out all over. I have so many. Look at this. I got the Pacer Service Center to look up all the court cases. Tell me whatever you want, Sean. If you do a second interview with him, I'll give you anything you want here with all the information I pulled. I know you're probably not even going to reach out to me, but that one page, that's a good start. Try putting a notebook together like I did.
Please get it out there if you want to see more of the show and support Tom. Tom, how do people get a hold of you, reach you, your different social medias, etc.?
John says, I tossed my notes. It felt nice. Yeah, I might actually burn that thing. Or shred it. Those are the only two options. I'm not really someone that likes to burn things these days. Like, I had my little pyro phase in my teens, but like, now it's just like, yeah, just shred all the paper. Just shred it. Rip the binder apart. Just put it all in the recycle. Like, I have no use for that. You know what? That's something I need to do this week. Just get rid of that thing. Pull the essential things out, like that Pacer envelope. I don't know what else though. John says, I am not recommending it though. I saved everything. I didn't get rid of anything with this. In fact, I'm like adding more and more just doing these shows like this, aren't I? John says I collaged over them. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to do that stuff to move on. But I'm trying to get to the answers here.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to message me on Facebook, that's fine. I still use that archaic device, but it's like Tom Althouse Facebook. There's a main page. And then also, TomAlthouse.com, a wonderful woman made the website for me. It's like, just made it.
Jen?
And, on there.
Jen? You're not going to name drop Jen? That's another show that we're going to review here, is his self-interview with Jen, his handler, that made his website. We'll talk about that again before we sign off.
You'll see these inserted biographical material that's in the first Matrix. You'll see some of the scene breakdowns, matchups, things like that. The interview with a couple of interviews with Roseanne Barr and others. And yeah, that might be a help. So TomAlthouse.com, she made it easy to remember. But definitely want to put this on there too. It's great to do the show with you. So I feel like a kindred spirit.
The website that I told him he should use, the domain name of TomAlthouse.com. He said it was too egocentric. He didn't want to use it. Well, something Jen told him, I guess it clicked with him, and he's like, oh, yes, that's amazing. We should use it. He said he didn't want to when I first brought it up to him, so I guess when somebody else regurgitates an idea I gave him, then yes, that's a good idea, right?
It's like Neo met Neo, so I'm just really glad you got my son's name. It's just so uncanny.
Oh, yeah, we're going to fly. We're gonna...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to fly?
For sure with you.
Don't fly into a brick wall, because that seems like what you've done, Sean. 5 months. Where are all these interviews you said you had planned to do with them? They're not on your YouTube channel.
We can explore it more in the conference and in private, so it'll be fun. So yeah, name all social media for sure with you. We can explore it more in the conference and in private, so it'll be fun. So yeah,
we'll explore that more in conference and private. That's what he said.
Name all social medias, your YouTube, email or whatever. If people want to get a hold of you, support you.
Yeah, and you can, somebody wants to message me too, they can do it. A message number, so that's fine. Okay.
What ways are you looking for in support?
Oh God. Well, that protective barrier thing is wonderful. I know I'm saying like I'm, no touch rule, but part of that could be that I'm a no touch rule. I'm on the bench. You're not going to tackle somebody on the bench on the sideline. So it might be when I get in the game, they're coming right at me again. I haven't assessed that out. So that protective side of the.
Tom, what if they ejected you from the game, and you're not telling us?
I realize the power of the spiritual side, so I would love.
Or do you even know that you were ejected? You know, I had a baseball coach one year. He sat me out all 8 innings. The 9th inning, I walked from the game. 9th inning, I'm like, fuck this. You benched me the whole game. I'm out. I'm doing something else with my time. That's what I did when I was benched. It's like, no, you're not going to use me. I'm going to go elsewhere. Tom's talking like he's waiting to participate in Hollywood and that he had to sacrifice his sons in order to get to this point. That's the way he's talking about this shit. I had to go through the worst to get to this. Now I'm untouchable, and I'm the star player on the bench. And my sister and my daughter goes and talks to people and dignitaries around the world, and I want that. I want that. That's how you come off, Tom.
Of that, any of those that are capable of sending that kind of thing, that would be great. Word out, really. Word out is it. I've got a lot of minions coming at me. I don't know a better word for it. You know, that are just trashing, saying they get a lot of attention doing it. Just a positive word might be good, or a thumbs down on some of those things might help, wake them up that it's not so good attention. I don't know. It's just, it hurts the idea that my son's died, and a lot of people know about that. And it's like, why would you even do that? Even if it's for attention.
Dude, you use your sons as a talking point. That's my sons, and my son's dad. But no memories of him, like, sharing a meal with them, going to a sporting event or a movie, going to the theater to watch a movie with them, doing extracurricular activities with them, spending time with them. You have no memories of your 2 dead sons? What, did they remove your neural link, Tom?
Anyway, that's helpful if somebody can just put a word and say, look, maybe there's something more to see here. I don't think it's what you say. So I want to turn the tactic around.
Yeah, there's nothing more to see here. Look at this. Look at his walls. Nothing. Nothing. With the demons hiding in the shadows in the back there. He doesn't even know they're there. You all tell me what I'm doing so wrong here. I know it's getting under his skin that I did not give up on standing my ground, on trying to find out what the fuck is going on here.
We get to actually creating a better world together and stop this distraction of infighting. So that would be something I'd love to see.
Yeah, I'd say I'm a supporter of you in that, like, based on what I've heard, like the concepts of the Matrix are way beyond what most mortals can conceptualize. So I to expect it to come from a Muggle versus a multidimensional person like yourself, I'm veering more towards a multidimensional mind such yourself to come into the creation of this. So,
did he just call himself a Muggle? This dude dresses up as a wizard on his other live streams and talks like who knows what about. I just was able to see what his latest live streams were. It has nothing to do with Tom.
You have my support. Now, is there any other things you're looking for in skills and lawyers and other things that you can support your life?
Definitely, because the remnant idea, again, I was called to do this. Like I said, this was to be a call to a remnant. Those that have different skill sets with a heart of compassion.
There it was again. See, the script's here. Reach for it and try to read it.
Passion and humility, that's the key. If you have that in spades, then you are part of this and needed. And that's what I'm called to bring together. And how beautiful will that be? Change your world that way. So for the future there, I want to know who you are for the future too. And I want to be working with you like you, Sean. Definitely doing this. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I said my comfort would be from that. And attorneys that are out there, absolutely. I mean, think of it. We never claimed, we finally realized that after all these decades of smoke and mirrors and them getting me to look at it like, oh, you lost. I'm like, we haven't claimed it yet. We never got to claim it yet because defense attorneys that were supplied is a very mundane level. But
is this dude seriously operating like he never walked out of his deposition? Holy moly.
they supplied defense attorneys, all from the University of Berkeley School of Law, to manhandle and block the claim and run the clocks out.
Supplied defense attorneys. You should have paid for your own attorney, dude. But even then, you would have walked out anyway.
It's amazing what they did to, like, working with a film team on this too, where they actually did everything, every ploy to shut down any evidence going on record and run.
And he's like talking positively about it, about these attorneys. You hear that? It's actually amazing what they did. You see? He sounds deranged.
The clock out and using defense attorneys to do it. So I like to meet some attorneys sometime to talk about claiming matrix. We can. You know, it's like we can actually do it. And I'd like to show some of them.
Claiming matrix. We can actually do it. Why aren't you doing it? What are you waiting for?
Those reasons why. And that's why this film's being made right now too. I've been offered to have this.
The film's being made right now too. Oh yeah. Okay. The same bullshit story over and over. The documentary's just finishing up. The film's about to be made. This is the same shit he's been saying this whole time.
Film made, which points out some of the most amazing things that were done to shut it all down. And keep in mind, Warner Brothers has no working drafts. No working drafts. How'd you shoot it? This in one hand, as I was told by the fight choreographer. This in one hand, and a lifted image of storyboard, 600 images.
He looks like an alien here. I would like to know if Tom is really on any medications too. But I guess that's neither here nor there, right?
On the other, it's how they made it up on set with a 20-foot rule, so you don't see it. I mean, it's too obvious. Anyway, but that would help a lot. Professionals coming on board to see what we can do together. And I'd like to universally see all of us. I think.
Did that, like, that foot rule, did that just like expand over the past few years? Because I swear it was like a 10-foot rule. And now it's a 20-foot rule. Is next year, is it going to be a 30-foot rule? 100-foot rule in 5 years?
Remnant have all kinds of things that we need to come forward. All our works are going to be important. I'd like to help also on the reverse by seeing theirs go forward also.
Yeah, so please support him. So projects you have in the works, books?
That's pretty funny, Missing Time. Missing Time put like emojis in the chat, just like the hand and the script. Oh man. He's such a performance artist, isn't he?
Events that you're going to, besides, again, everyone come to the Alien event that's coming up in a few days in Los Angeles. Tom is doing a presentation. I'm also doing some presentation.
Alien conference in Los Angeles. What the fuck does that have to do with Tom writing The Immortals? There's no aliens in his script.
So I'm going into healing the crowd and teaching people healing abilities, love amplification, superhuman love, and where you can tap into the greater wisdom of knowingness deep in the heart, and some alien artifacts that we're finding. Oh yeah, I didn't get to show like we're finding cubes and stuff that are crazy and like go into remnants of like
what the
stuff, that is kind of Matrix like.
That's crazy. Jeez.
And my girlfriend loves talking, tuning into these concepts of going deeper into reality.
Oh my god, he pulled out a bigger one. It's like, all right, now that the interview's over, let me show you my side of the story. Whoa, we're getting into cubes now.
And talks about something called primordial matrices, which I'd love to hear about and talk about with you. Yeah, what projects you have coming up, and books and other ways we can support you and figure out what you're coming up next with.
Yeah, so we're working on, there's a film team working on the film. We got a documentary team. We got the what else? TV series. They're gonna be doing TV episodes.
Oh, really?
So it's like suddenly we're in the time of favor, which is really nice. And I was told at the end of it, I'd meet those that, you know, were remnant. That'd be a comfort to meet them, and here we all are. It's amazing. So it was worth it to get to this point. So there's a bunch of stuff happening. The book's being worked on. Finally getting it all.
You know, by the way, Tom doesn't like me laughing like that, but this is like truly humorous. Hearing him tell the entire world, How, like, the documentary's being made, the film is in production, I have a TV series lined up, the book's being made. What the fuck?
Done. Categorizing all the evidence is just a nightmare. There's so much evidence. In fact, Warner Bros. Said, you have too much evidence. It'll be overwhelming for the people. They'll never get it. I'm like, well, if we categorize it properly, make it accessible and easy to navigate, then it's not an issue. And how can you have a story where there's too much evidence? I think it's the other way around is the problem. So too much evidence is a good thing. So I think,
Too much evidence is a good thing, right? But if it's not relevant to the case, it means nothing.
The same thing with digging these artifacts up. We're gonna get as much evidence, as much science going into it.
John said meds might explain it. Tom's behavior. And Missing Time said the quote, artifacts are actually made of geopolymer discovered 50 years ago. Yeah, there ain't no way that what Sean just held up is some, like, fifth element ancient Mayan cubes from the past. Like, there's no way. He wouldn't be caught dead with them. Definitely reproductions of some shit. And I guess his girl really loves that shit, right? Whatever. Let your girl navigate your life for you. I don't know what to tell you.
Because it's crazy that aliens coming out of the ground. But so that's my presentation. We're also going to the Bucas stuff, so be there. What is your presentation going to be about, so people can get motivated to come to?
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, it's going to be about transhumanism because of the Neuralink. I want to give a warning about what this thing means and why it's been taken.
So that's what he talks about at the UFO conferences is transhumanism because of the Neuralink, and he talks about Elon Musk over and over again. Ain't that something? The connective tissue to even be allowed in the door to a UFO conference. Yeah, I'm going to talk about transhumanism. What? I'm the writer of The Matrix, don't you know? What? Yeah. Just let me in. I was on Roseanne. What?
And what they were planning to do with it, and what it can be used for good. How it can be used for good, to expound on that. So, and what I'm going to do is my presentation on transhumanism is open up to the audience to allow inputs, because again, I was writing to ask more questions and answers, and I think that's the whole key to bringing humanity together, is to share like we did tonight. And so I'm looking forward to audiences contributing to at least half my presentation is going to be having people come to the microphone and share their experience.
At least Sean has some stuff on his walls. Why does Tom not have a single image on his walls? Not one.
Experiences, and then let's learn together. I want to go over what it meant in the screenplay, but then open it up to what it was intended to do with the screenplay, bring us together and join our thoughts. So yeah, that's the first one.
Cool.
Yeah.
I played these to you because they wanted to be seen by you. It seemed they like you.
Yeah.
So whoa, the fuck, man! Oh my god! He's talking about the cubes like they're sentient beings. You kidding me, Sean? Oh, you lost so much credit in my eyes, man. You just do yourself, man. I don't know. That's beyond me. Oh my goodness. He just personified his inanimate objects.
There's these various aliens, things that are being found in, again, Mexico.
Wow.
They're being dug up. These glow in the dark, like heavily. Here.
Look! Yeah. A geopolymer glow-in-the-dark cube. Congratulations, you played yourself.
They even talk, they have rare psychic abilities.
Oh my god, he just brings out the bigger ones, too.
But there's these weird concepts that could.
That thing would be so much heavier if it was actually made of stone. What a farce. Both of these jackasses have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. And I could say so because of my Coral Castle and Bermuda Triangle series. This guy has no fucking idea what he thinks he's holding in his hand.
Maybe not having anything to do with the Matrix, but
It's going to make sense. It's going to make sense. I feel it right now. There's no
that
accident
thing
there. So,
would be so fucking heavy if that was actually made of stone. It's plastic. He's holding up a plastic fucking cube. Sean, you lost so much credit in my eyes just for doing the cube shit. You could have just like kept the cubes out of this and it would have made you look so much better. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, when I see some of these, it's gonna happen. That's what
This big guy wanted to say hello.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The big guy wanted to say, you couldn't fucking kidding me. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Missing Time says he also constantly asks how much everyone donates.
We got a video of pulling it out of the ground. It's got an orc falcon chip on the top of the head.
If that was really pulled out of the fucking ground, he would not have that in his possession any longer for the way that he's showing it off. I've read too many stories of people who have mysteriously died because they showed shit like this. That is definitely a piece of plastic he is holding up. He did not dig that out of the fucking ground. You telling me he's so... You look at this. I'm about to crash out on this motherfucker. You're telling me this Sean Bond motherfucker has a fucking elongated skull in his possession and he's just flaunting it around like it's some jewelry that he just found in the fucking desert? Get fucking real. Both of you are fucking frauds. Pieces of shit. You know, this is why the whole esoteric community's in the fucking gutter the way it is, because of these two fuckheads right here doing what they're doing. Full stop.
That is so...
Architects of reality.
Yes, yes. And I think that's one of the keys for humanity. And I think we're realizing it. The Remnant does. I mean, those of us that are...
The architects of reality, the elongated heads... wow. That's just like that's insulting to my intelligence. That shit's not real. It's not me just disbelieving it. This dude wouldn't even be fucking alive if he had that shit in his house. Does he think it talks to him too? Why would he just be flaunting around the skull of a deceased being? And why the fuck isn't the government come and just raided his fucking house over it?
Imagine our real...
Yeah, I agree, Midwest Mangler. Thank God this interview's finally over. What a fucking farce.
That we don't have all the answers, and it's okay that we don't have all the answers. Sometimes just having an open platter before us without constructs on it allows us to receive a lot better. Like they say, you know, instead of having a full glass, our glass is ready to be filled.
Couldn't agree more. It's beautifully said. Any last words of wisdom you'd like to leave the audience? And of course, guys.
Yeah, I'd like to go first. To quote MJF from All Elite Wrestling, I'm better than you, and you know it. And sure, that's my ego talking, but this fucker, when these people do this shit, the geopolymer cube, the fucking plastic mold shit that he's showing and talking like they're actually living. Oh, Deedle Dom is talking to me through the glasses and shit. Come on, man. Oh, whew. That's really insulting.
Let's get out to the alien event.
Yeah, I'd say gratitude comes to mind right away. I want to offer gratitude. I mean, this is something I waited for a very long time. And your name even, like I said, is really definitely a synchronicity. And it's like, I can feel the presence.
Waited for it for a really long time. You're the first person to understand. Finally surrounded by some smart people. These are quotes of Tom. What gratitude has he shown me? Just a bunch of false words repackaged from his other hundreds of interviews and regurgitated on me. And now on to the next schmuck over here. Except I'm not one of those people that just, well, oh, well, I tried. I'll let him be. No. It's called being held accountable. And that's what I'm doing to Tom here. I'm holding him accountable to his actions, his words. And they all contradict each other. So he's just making himself look like a total fool. Midwest Mangler says, Sean is like, if Tom can make all these outrageous claims, I'm going to shamelessly plug some of my own. Yeah, exactly. It's just out of fucking nowhere at the end of this interview. Look at my cubes and my elongated skull, and they all have names and they all talk to me. What the fuck? Oh, it likes you. It wants to. What the fuck, man?
So my son's here. I know this is right. This is good. And it's in the face of me, even, like I said, is really definitely a synchronicity. And it's like, I can feel the presence of my son's here. I know this is right. This is good. And it's in the face of me being silent after being,
are something else, Tom. There you go again, using your sons. I feel the presence of my sons here. Dude, they're probably you know, like the end of Interstellar where the dad's like banging on the library of infinity and shit. Ah! Stop! Dad, what the fuck you doing? Stop! That's probably what they're doing. Get help, Dad! That's probably what they're doing. Holy shit.
Really hit trash hard was the move. I let them bite at me. And now to be able to speak up and share the evidence and truths together and to bounce the meanings together from our respective experiences is just a joy.
From our collective insanity, we can all make sense of our lives because we're all fucking schizos, aren't we?
It's like going back in time to around the campfire and able to talk about the hunt. It's just really beautiful.
Oh, same. Yeah, we're gonna definitely do more shows.
The hunt.
Have a great time in Los Angeles. So we're really looking forward to doing that with you. It feels good to meet re-meet a soul family member and it be shown that we're really connected. Okay, so get this out there, share it. We're gonna do more shows, but like we'll do them faster if you share it with more people. Help Tom get this information out there. Help this.
No, just help Tom. Help Tom help himself. Get Tom help. That should be the message.
Greater timeline, I think, will make things much better and go deeper into the matrix than what the dark wants us to do, into the concepts of what it is, the things they're afraid of, release the shackles off this new or...
Yeah, why don't you talk about Philip K. Dick a little more? Why don't you talk about William Gibson? You won't. Because you choose to remain ignorant, both of you.
Future that is being controlled and they're trying to strangle, and we help the light shine, and we all get inspired to become the Neo.
Yeah.
That's right.
Claiming the false light. You know what, man? I'm tired of these people trying to use the light as some sort of like scapegoat bullshit. That's the thing. That's the word. Tom is using his two dead sons as a scapegoat for why he's doing what he's doing. They told me to finish the job. Dude. The job's changed. The job's gone. The only job you're doing is giving job to every host that you're going on. Give them old tug and pull.
It was intended that way. Cool.
Right. Exactly. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you there. So you guys be there too. And we'll do more shows. So looking forward to it. This was, again, one of my favorites just because of the amount of amazingness from this. So get this out there, guys.
Yeah, you're going to have tens of thousands of views because of all the reels I'm putting out. You know that? Tens of thousands. Anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 views per day. That's what you're getting now. From nobody. Shh. Nobody.
Love you all. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. Have a better night. That exit music better not get me hit with something. All right. Let's cue my music up real quick again. So, we finally made it. We made it out to the other side. We didn't give up. Didn't surrender. Look at where we're at now. Missing Time said, LOL, it got shared all right. Yeah, that's why I read that a little early. That's why I said what I said about my view counts. It's not me bragging. It's just that's what YouTube likes using. And you know, I wanted this channel to be full-time for me, and maybe it could get to that point. So, we have a few things to do. I have a few screenshots I want to share. So let me get into that real quick. Let's see. So this is Tom Althouse's YouTube channel. Remember how I said that, like, Tom, you should make a YouTube channel? I was saying that a few shows ago. He finally made one. 2 subscribers. 2 videos. This is one of the videos. 7 views. 7 views. All right, let's look at the other screenshots from here. There's his single video from a month ago. 9 views. 9. 9. I'm often interviewing on Michael Jaco, David Zublik, Penny Shepard. It's all the same. That's all the same. Number 2, 3, and 4, they're pretty much the same show. And then the Let's Hash It Out podcast, I don't know what the fuck that is. Look at the subscriber counts on these. Shepard Entertainment, 82. Let's Hash It Out, 19 subscribers. Only do when you get to David Zublik. I mean, that's not even that impressive. Abe Cius has a bigger channel than Zublik, 3.17K. And then Dave Zublik 1, that's 6.2. Pretty decent. Michael Jaco, 128K. That's pretty good. But then why are you only at 9 views here, dude? That's what I want to know. And he also has playlists that he made, so I'm going to show that right now, too. Holy shit. So he has the Sean Bond. Hold on. So it starts from number 1 here. He has 14 interviews on a playlist. 2 of them are unavailable. But you have this Lynn Scott Hagerman, never heard of him. Then you have the Roseanne Barr Show, the first one. Then Miriam Heinen. Don't know who that is. That might be an older one too. Psionic League, that's the one we just watched. Over 4 episodes of Let's Talk About It, because it's 3 hours long, and I love to just give my commentary on stuff. Then the second Roseanne Barr interview. Then the Joe Friendly interview. We watched that here on Let's Talk. That's the one that, like, the audio was terrible and everything, and we stitched together part 1 and part 2, so we don't... He has it to get just up as 1, because that's the way it was uploaded, and it's from like 10 years ago. Then Red Pill 78, which I still... I wonder what happened with that guy, why he stopped interviewing Tom. But for some reason, Tom has his thing up there, because I guess he didn't question him and speak out after he stopped interviewing. Then you got the Matrix Code with Tom Althouse and Yasa, and this is Yasa Arzate Libine. I don't even know how to pronounce that. And then below that, we have just Tom's video, which we're going to show a screenshot of that. We are going to watch that entire interview that's on his channel, and I already have it. So if he pulls it down, we're still going to watch it. And then Solutions with Chanti. So that's the other one that he said that she was screaming at him on the phone. I don't even believe that story anymore. He probably crashed out on her for all we know. Then there's the... Oh yeah, you see this? He has a clip that Roseanne Barr put together. It says, "I was roofied" with Tom Althouse. What is that about? Is he talking about his Pat Robertson time that he was roofied when he was with Pat Robertson? Why doesn't he talk about that? He doesn't talk about that in any of these shows. Then Dr. Charnel, I don't know what the fuck that is. But then here we have Tom using his like 30-year-old picture, literally from 30 years ago. And then you have another clip, which is that one reel, which was on the first screenshot that I shared. And then here is that one video on Tom's YouTube channel. And there is Jen, his handler that put the website together for him. It's all starting to make sense now. So we're going to tear this interview apart as well. We're going to make sure we look under every nook and cranny. And we are going to, I guess, just see how far this derangement goes with this guy. John says that he says traumatized, precursor to insanity plea. Yeah. And John also says, Jaco, not real numbers, I think. I kind of have to agree with that. You know, we could verify that really quickly here. Just based off of view counts on recent uploads. Oh, he's live right now with Dr. Macklin. Illuminati power grabs and off-planet facilities of global surveillance. Oh, shit. Man, he just keeps everyone in fear, doesn't he? So, his videos... He has something from 2 weeks... Let me show this screen here. 12K, 2.7K, 12K... So he's like not even getting 10% of what his sub count is. But I mean, you could say the same thing about this channel. YouTube's kind of ass backwards right now with the view counts. 1.9K views here on this little doobie from 2 months ago. 1.8, 3.1, 527 views here. That's really weak for a channel of this size. 752. 1.8, 2K. 807. And this is going back 4 months now. So the numbers are all over the place. He looks like a white version of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Oh, jeez, John. John says, that's the gay trailer story. The roofie thing is a road trip sexy mishap. Yikes. Is that the one where, like, he was supposed to meet like a whole bunch of people with Pat Robertson and it turned out to be like one dude in the trailer? I think I know what you're talking about. Campaign trail antics, John says. Okay. We are going to watch an interview from Jaco's channel here. Let me just type this in. Not today, obviously. There's a 2-minute one. Oh, we got one from 5 years ago. But we're going to look at this one from 2 months ago. Which, again, I already have the video, so it doesn't matter if it's not up on his channel anymore in the future, because we're going to end up watching it. I think we watched parts of this before. We might have watched the whole thing. But we're going to watch this one. Tom Althouse is talking about waking up and exiting the Matrix. Immortality is coming for all. That's the one that we will eventually watch. In fact, since we finished the Sean Bond one, and that was 3 hours, this one's only an hour. I think we could knock this one out next week, and then we could do the self-promoted one on Tom's channel with Jen the week after, so 2 weeks from now. That's what the tentative plan is for all this. Let me see. Do I have any other screenshots here? There's the conference summit, which doesn't have Tom on there. Dude, like, just look at this reel. Reels do really well, but for Tom, 7 views. Like, how do you even recover from this? 7 whole views on a short. That's embarrassing. Mr. I'm gonna change the world can't even get a viral reel going. Probably because mine's all telling people to not look at his stuff, and they're actually listening because they see how ridiculous all this is. Okay, well, that's it for today's show. I thank y'all for being here. And, man, we went nearly 6 hours today. That's kind of wild. Actually, if you include all the break that I had between the 2 shows, it is pretty much 6 hours now. See how much time this takes, everyone? But I'm doing it. Doing it for me. I'm doing it for all you. Because nobody else is doing it. But, that's going to be it. I'm going to play the intro that I have, from the start of the show. I like to end the shows with the intros, so I'll just be doing that until I figure out an outro video, which I really do want to make so that it's different from the start. But thank you all for being here. Enjoy the rest of your Sundays, and I should be back here Tuesday since I have everything sorted out here for streaming again. Tuesday is Coral Castle at I believe 6 p.m. and then Thursday we'll be reading the last chapter in the current book on the Bermuda Triangle. That'll be on Thursday. And I'm debating about starting this other show. I want to finish some of these up first before I start a new show that I've been working on. But this is going to be it. I thank you all for being here. Please remember to hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, do the notification bell, super chat if you want, if you can. Also, if you want to become a member of the channel, that's available too. This is one avenue of my income, and it's very little at this point in time. So, it's not me begging for money here. Like, I do this for a living, so anything can definitely help move things along. But the reels will, I think, pick up the slack for that. And with that being said, until the next one, class dismissed.
Well, I sure appreciate your presence and your demeanor, and I'm really on the lookout for people that are actually genuine and articulate and have a heart. I would say I'll consider you a friend. You did the work, you did this. When the right people are calling the shots, and like yourself, you've got these gifts and you've got these stories, and you've got these abilities and these projects.
That's why people like Stephen Nizell, it's like, he knew all this. And when I was with that particular person, he was laughing at the death of my son. He was laughing in front of me in my home at the death of his son. So it's like,
What? That's a blatant lie. You kidding me?
People that make opinions and that they're saying like egotistical things like this, people that make those opinions, you're doing worse than the cabal. You're doing worse than those that are pedophiles harming children. Whoa. You are worse than any of them with your opinions. You're doing more harm than those that are swinging the swords. I'm not out to put anybody down. No one. I don't want to be drawn into so-and-so and so-and-so, and he's putting down so-and-so. No, I don't have time for that.
What the f is going on here?
And so I'm holding this up because I think it's kind of fun. I'm in danger of being ridiculed by a evil snowman.
Oh my God!
I mean,
It's
that
from the
hat,
Nephilim.
the hat is nowhere else except on Burl Eyes. Facial fur. I mean, that's what I'm dealing with. It's like,
They're
yeah,
part of the Nephilim clown bloodline.
it's incredible. It's like, yeah. I mean, that's a nobody player.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
People like myself.
Asshole.
We're quick to forgive. We're quick to embrace. We'll be like somebody says, "I'm sorry for it. You got me. Let's celebrate." That's how we are. Instantly forgive. This garbage of false glory has got to stop, and I'm tired of it. Let's stop being turned on each other. And let's stop looking for ways to accuse each other of turning on each other. And let's start lifting each other. And we've got this. Those 14 other screenplays going on 15 that I have is for the new world order, new world that is our people.
Yeah.
So I am presenting my honorary Queen of the World for your courage,
Thank you.
brilliance, beauty, compassion, divine feminine, and never say no.
Thank you, baby.
There you are. Yeah, if I'm a fraud, bring it on. Let's do it. Come on, it'll be easy to debunk if I'm a fraud.
Well, me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of